What is up, fam? Tuesday night means Birds of a Feather coming to you live on A2DRadio.com from all over the place, from all of our Real Talk studios. We got Tom in Florida, we got Kevin on Mars, and everybody else in New Jersey. We want to welcome you guys to the show. We're brought to you by our doctor, Dr. Paul Vidal, the number one doc in the business. Find him in Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton, New Jersey. Find him on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. No appointment necessary. Hit up Dr. Paul Vidal, as well as Ambuck Services. You need gutter cleaning, gutter guards, tree trimming, deck installation, restoration, anything that you guys need. Check them out. Let them know the fam at A2D sent you guys. You get 20% off at Ambuck Services, AMBUCK.com. And listen, our topic of conversation tonight, we're back. This is part 2 of our draft special here, where we are going to be drafting wide receiver, tight end position here tonight. But our topic of conversation is Michael Thomas is the best wide receiver in the NFL. That's brought to you by QB54, Best Tailgating Game. You can check them out. Go. No.
No, that's fine.
I was like, wait, what?
Me and Pete right here. Me and Pete were right here. We're like,
listen, when you're doing plugs and you got the boss on the air and you see a head shake, you're like, what the hell? Check them out. Play QB. I was like, damn, I saw them drop. I saw a link drop for them earlier on the page. But listen, playqb54.com, best tailgating game, guys. Use the promo code No Notes to get you 10% off. Check it out. Great time to get that now. And also, guys, shout out to PhillyDrinkers.com. They have come out with so much awesome A2D merch. Today, they just dropped multi-purpose swim shorts, summer shorts with A2D logos. They're badass. I'm going to be ordering them. We got the QB50, the QB Factory shirt. Look at it. I love it, Dad. I love it. We got the QB Factory shirt that if you use the promo code A2D, get you 25% off, guys. Check it out. Awesome stuff on there. Amazing quality. Got show shirts. You're a Birds of a Feather fan? Get it. You're an AM and the PM or agree to disagree or a fix fan? Get on there and get it. Lazy, but whatever your cup of tea is, get on there, get your show shirt, show support for the fam, and we love you guys. So guys, draft night, Chuck's either or Ryan. You know, we got Chuck's, Ryan, Kevin, Pete, Big Daddy down here. You guys want to explain to us the format of tonight's draft? It's a little different than last week when we did just quarterbacks, which, by the way, if you missed it, guys, that was a great show with a lot of arguing and conversations. It was the first time I think me and Ryan really went at it. Me and Dad.
Yeah.
Was only like the second or third time me and Dad went at it. And Kevin was on Mars last week too.
Yeah.
Both with his picks and literally broadcasting from Mars.
I liked my picks so much last week. I had my intern hang them up on the wall back here.
Oh my God.
oh my God, it's still getting worse.
I can't make it getting worse. I can't even tell Tim.
Now I can. Now I cleared up.
There you go.
We just had to wait for it to catch up. That's all.
Look at Chuck's. It's like that picture of King Kong, you know, like
what's up, Eileen? Yeah, Chucks, I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to be the guy to say it.
no,
Okay, we can say it now that you did. Eileen says, "What's up?" Ken says, "Oh wait, I see a flat screen." Kevin's at a different camera in his studio.
Yeah, I moved it around a little bit. Had to hang the pictures up.
Eileen wants to know, Kevin, why is your feed so fuzzy?
Don't know. No answers there.
The intern
He's
hasn't
on
taken
stage.
care of it yet, right, Kev?
Yeah.
The intern has yet to be hired.
Well, the thing is, I have so many that are applying. It's hard for me to get through them all. So I'm going to need to hire an intern to, interview my interns.
You need
Is that
an
why
intern for the interns?
Is that why the screen's
Yep.
so fuzzy? Because all the requests are crashing the server? It's all fuzzy?
That is it. We've uploaded a KFC fan club link now, and it's crashed. Too many are applying.
Yeah.
You out here burning people's eyes, Kev.
Kevin right now looks like he has some serious sunburn. I'm a little concerned for his health right now.
Permanent sunburn.
Chrome, you guys would know what that feels like if your team was as hot as mine back there on that wall, but you don't. So,
no, wow.
Jesus Christ!
Like your face, the tint of your face matches the Patriots lettering on the shirt.
Greatest color on earth. Let's go.
We've already got super chats talking trash about Kevin.
Apparently, Brodo can't keep a tan, but Kevin can't get rid of one.
Appreciate you, D-Love. That's a great question. Kevin, you want to answer this question for him?
Yes, we've upgraded there, D-Love. The inpouring of fans. It's we've been able to afford this nice studio here, so thank you.
For 10 cents a day, Kevin can get a new studio next week.
Misappropriation of funds, bitch.
I actually think, Kev, you might need to repeat that. You kind of froze in the middle of that explanation there, buddy.
Well, I didn't say we got the camera set up. We got the studio aligned. That's about it.
Oh my God.
Chucks, you want to explain the schedule for tonight?
Sure, let's do it. So it's going to be similar to last week. We are going to go 3 rounds still. So I know last week we were talking about 4 or 5, but we are only going to go 3 rounds. And this time we are combining 2 positions. We are combining the wide receivers and the tight ends. They are all going to be in one pool to select from. So all of us can pick either or. Picking a tight end is not mandatory. So I repeat, it is not mandatory that anyone picks a tight end. You can if you want to. You can pick all tight ends if you want to, but it's not mandatory. Just pick whoever out of the selection of the pool of guys, which ones you guys would build your team with going forward. So again, age is a factor, or it's not if you want to go that route. So that's how we're going to do it. 3 rounds again, wide receivers and tight ends.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
So
if you guys want to see the draft order, I think.
So let's go through the draft order. And again, similar to last week, it's going to be a snake draft. Are we going to pop it up on the screen? We're just going to read it off.
It's going to be it's on the bottom of the screen. Pete has the number 1 pick, followed by Chrome, number 2, Kevin with the number 3, Chuck's at number 4 pick, myself at number 5, and Mr. Arnone with the final pick in the first round.
Well done. Okay.
Let's do it.
Not bad. I had 1 last week, too. This week, I'm liking this. Let's roll.
Yeah.
All right, Pete, you're on the clock, buddy. Do you really need to be on the clock?
I mean, nah, there's no clock. I mean,
so Pete, before you pick,
yes, sir.
Integrate. Say your selection first, but then integrate this as your answer to the poll question of whether Michael Thomas is the best wide receiver in NFL or not. So, obviously, if you go that route, then answer why. But if you don't go that route, answer why not.
Okay. And we want to preface this by saying, because we know the good old content group over A2D, after our draft last week, did put up everyone's teams, and we had a little vote, and I don't know where the fan went wrong.
God.
We definitely
I can tell you a ton of places the fan went wrong. Do we want to? Do we really? Let's get into it. Where did they go wrong?
Get into it because it's bad.
A bunch of fans. We love you guys, but we literally put the post out and said, pick a group of people, and it became a fanboy. We're just going to take Cozy's Carson Wentz. We're taking Carson Wentz, and it was like, no, that's not the point of it. It's hey, you have to take this trio. What is the best trio? And that did not go that way.
Well, one guy
not in the Eagles group.
One guy was like, "Oh, we get Baker Mayfield too." No. No, not what's happening here.
I didn't see that one.
Read.
It was like, oh, it's not fair. We got Baker on our team too. It's like, no, read the top. Read the freaking caption, please.
Like Tom said, when we do these posts now, like we have to literally spell it out for everyone. Like, guys,
I had to make a new image.
Ryan had to replace the image on the post because of the what was not a clear miscommunication, Ryan. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. But we love you guys. Listen, you're the fam. We love you. If you want to fanboy out and give Chucks the benefit of the doubt, just remember it's Chucks who had Wentz. So you're giving him the satisfaction. Think about that.
I don't even count it. I don't even count that as a victory. I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it.
I will say, depending on in the non-Eagles overall NFL groups I dropped in, it varied between Pete's, mine, and Tom's teams were the number one vote getters, or we were like even. Everybody was pretty close. Kevin, I'm not gonna lie, bro, you were a distant.
That's
distant. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody even saw your team. I don't know if people
was his team even up there? I mean, it's up there now behind him today.
Did he get a vote?
I'm sure you guys mean distant by first. Yes, I did. Actually, I checked. There was a bunch on there.
A bunch of these too.
What I don't understand. What I don't understand is how people hate the only team that has playoff experience at all three positions, but that's neither here nor there. We're on to receivers this week, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what? The only team that has playoff experience at all three? I have Dak, Matt Ryan, and fucking Pat Mahomes. I got a Super Bowl MVP. I got two guys that went to Super Bowl.
Your team's forgettable.
So do I. So do I.
Sorry, Krum. Your team was forgettable. I didn't even realize that. My apologies.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin.
All right.
My team has 6 Super Bowls.
Okay.
That is true.
All right. All right.
Even though
All
he's
right,
50.
Let's go. We're going to round it back in. We're going to get the jazz hands going, Pete.
All right. So I do not agree with the poll question. Michael Thomas is not the best wide receiver in the NFL. I can insert the other 2 or 3 that I think that are better than him. I think he may be in the best situation. But if you put who I'm going to take on my first overall pick in the wide receiver draft, DeAndre Hopkins, you put him in New Orleans offense, and there you go.
Hey, Pete, you know what? Why it makes me so happy? Because last year I made the same exact argument, and I got annihilated. I got criticized for making that same exact argument. But here we are.
Hey, crucify me, because I don't think either one are the 2 best in the league.
Yeah.
So I want people to come on my throat. Them two. I mean, I love DeAndre Hopkins pimp. One right there. Obviously, Michael Thomas pimp. But until Julio Jones retires or stops playing at a high level, it's hard for me not to say he's not one. I gotta look at his body of work too. So it's hard. But them guys are like right there though. Like everybody's right in a conversation. It depends how you want to look at it. Like
that's it. Key word.
Depends how you want to look at it.
Yeah. To win right now, to build my team, if Julio and D-Hop was the same age, and we already know it'd be Julio, but he's just a couple years older.
They're not the same age. Yep.
Yeah. they are not. But that's it. I take D-Hop with the first pick, and I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for me, I'm number 2, and I'm going to go right with it because, Tom knows this. I'm a Julio guy too. And honestly, for me, I think DeAndre Hopkins is number 1 and Julio Jones is number 2. So it kind of fell how I hoped it would probably fall. So pretty easy for me. I'm with you, Tom. Until somebody knocks off Julio, to me, he's still the king of the mountain. Mr. Consistency. He's always there to play. You never have to worry about him taking a day off. He's always a number 1 wide receiver every day on the field. That's what I want. I want that guy, especially if I'm building this team. I want a guy who's going to be the anchor for this wide receiving core who can go in there and be a leader and produce on the field and go up and get the football. I'm going Julio Jones with the number 2 pick.
Love it.
Love it.
I have to thank you both because I 1000% agree with the poll question.
You would.
Of course you would.
Michael Thomas is the best quarterback in the league, regardless of his situation.
Why?
Yeah, tell us why.
Tell us why.
Michael Thomas with my pick. Why? Because So for me, if I'm looking at DeAndre Hopkins, one of probably the best hands I've seen since his now teammate Larry Fitzgerald. If I'm looking at a guy who's yet to be taken in Tyreek Hill, he's got the speed. If I look at Julio, he has a body of work that obviously does well in all of those areas. To me, Michael Thomas just does that a little bit better. His route running is a little bit better. He can play underneath, in the slot. He has enough speed to beat corners over the top, and he's got that big play mentality. I'm not going to take away from what I see on the field just because his quarterback is Drew Brees. I mean, the same thing can be said for Tyreek Hill and having Mahomes. How many of those big bombs down the field is just because he has a quarterback that can get the ball to him. Now, on the flip side of things, Matt Ryan to me is a C quarterback, right? He's just barely he's in that fringe tier 2, tier 3 quarterback range where all of the talent is there for Julio to shine. I'm not saying he's not good or not great. To me, Michael Thomas, as of right now, to start my franchise, is 100%. Should have been the number 1 pick and the best on the board.
The only thing I'll agree with you on here, Kevin, is that, and I've made this point on other shows before, I don't think it's fair to simply judge a guy because of who his quarterback is. He's produced in the system that he's in. We don't know what he would do with another quarterback or another system, but I agree that a lot of the talent or the boxes checked are there that you mentioned. I just don't know if he's the best at all that stuff. I put him top 5. I just don't know that I personally would put him at the best, but I 1,000% agree with you in that I'm not going to knock a guy or hold it against him for who his quarterback is. Now, if you're looking at like some of the schmucks that we've seen over there in New England having Tom Brady throw them, that's different. And honestly, I mean, I'm not saying that to be. I mean,
I agree with you.
Funny. They've had guys that haven't checked those boxes that have been able to produce enough to carry them to Super Bowls. I don't put Michael Thomas in that category. I think that Michael Thomas will be a high-end wide receiver 1 with most of the quarterbacks in this league. So for that reason, I can't sit here and knock him and say, well, I think it's the system he's in. He definitely benefits from that. But I don't know what he would be anywhere else. And I don't know that I put him elite in all those categories above some of the other guys that have already been taken, or a guy that you already mentioned that still hasn't been taken.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the biggest thing to look at here is the record that he broke last year in most receptions in the season. I mean, A, you got to be able to catch the ball, and B, you got to be open. I don't care who's throwing the ball. It could be Brady, Montana, Manning, whoever it is. You still have to be able to, get that separation against top corners in the league and then hold on to the thing. So to be able to do that, to me, paired with his age, speed, and route running underneath, outside of what he does over top, that breaks it for me.
No,
Right.
gotta
That's
be
another fair point.
For me, like I think that when I'm looking at like wide receiver, it's very tough comparing wide receiver position, like especially because with the position, like with systems and coaches and different, like you have your X receiver, Y receiver, and Z receiver. Like all 3 positions ask to do something different. And then you have different types of receivers that play that, like you have, your prototypical Julian Edelman, Wes Welker type of slot receivers, but now you have the big slot receivers also, like Michael Thomas and AJ Brown. So like receivers come in all different packages, and like it's tough to compare because it really depends on the team and what you need. So when it comes to Michael Thomas, last year I had said I want to see him take a step forward. I think he has elite ability. I didn't count him as elite this time last year. Now I'm saying he's elite. So he's entered my elite tier. But when you're nitpicking now between all the guys in that elite tier, I need to really nitpick and fine tune, like, okay, this part of the game, this part of their game. And to me, the other wide receivers like a Julio and DeAndre, they're more well-rounded in my opinion, and their elite traits are higher than what Michael Thomas can bring, not by much, but just by a little bit. I still love Julio's all-around game. He is my wide receiver 1, and DeAndre Hopkins has the best ball skills of any wide receiver that I've personally ever seen, and I've said that since his rookie year. So Hopkins to me is number 2. So with Michael Thomas, like he's it's not so much just looking at him and discrediting him because of his quarterback. I don't want to do that. It's more so like if I'm going to nitpick everything and try to distinguish him compared to the other elite guys, what do they do better than him and vice versa? And I just have to give the edge to the other guys over Michael Thomas because like the guy that I'm going to pick next, like even like if Michael Thomas, it's kind of similar to my argument with Justin Jefferson. Like Michael Thomas he's not a vertical speed threat. So if you need a speed threat, he's not that guy that's going to give you that, but he beats you in other different ways. So it's a matter of what you look for.
Yeah. Real quick before
So do you agree or disagree?
I disagree with the poll. He's not the best wide receiver in the league.
I know it was pretty obvious. I was just
think of it like this: will Michael Thomas be Michael Thomas on another team and another system with another QB? Would he be as effective? And you take a look at what a D Hop or a Julio. If you just flipped them, who would put up similar numbers, if not better? Will Michael Thomas do better in Houston with Bill O'Brien and his crazy ass, or would D Hop benefit more from having Sean Payton and Drew Brees? Would Julio benefit better from being? I mean, the 1 year he had Kyle Shanahan, you saw what happened. 2 years he had Kyle, you saw what happened. So when he had a legitimate offensive mind and a system that clicked, Atlanta's offense was unstoppable. And Julio, so I don't see Michael Thomas having the same effect. Not to take anything away from the cat. And please, I mean, don't battle me on Instagram, Michael Thomas. You know, you want to come at us on ATD, it's going to be a whole bunch. I'm not Devontae Parker. I'm not saying I haven't took a snap in the NFL.
With me all day. I don't care.
Me too. I mean, but if you have to use that as motivation, but Devontae Parker had a good point. He says, I would have numbers too if I was targeted 300 times a year. So so what we see with targets and system and what we actually see in our athletic talent, like you said, many have said it tonight. Thomas just doesn't. He's just not there. He's not. I can't.
I think part of it is, and I think it's unfair when you talk about Michael Thomas, because I think because he plays with a guy like Drew Brees, he gets overlooked sometimes. So I think it's fair to say that sometimes he gets like discredited because he plays with Drew Brees. Now, Michael Thomas isn't my number. I disagree with the poll. So he's not. But, you know, I think some people discredit him for playing with Brees. That's also not fair. You know, like Prism said, he put up numbers with Bridgewater. So, yeah, you know, you got to have it both ways. To me, he's easily a top 5 wide receiver. Just depends where you want to put him, but not one. Not with guys like Hopkins in the league and Julio Jones still around. Not one.
Yeah, agree. Yep.
Agreed.
Cool. Are we going to my pick now, I'm guessing?
Yes.
All right. Well, who else would I pick but the guy that I've been saying is an elite wide receiver for the past, I think, year or two, but it's the Cheetah, the Super Bowl champion, Tyreek Hill. I'm going with Tyreek Hill. Love him. I've been saying he's elite, not just this past year, but years prior, because to me, he is like the fastest cat I've ever seen play football. Like he is. I know, like Michael Thomas's Twitter handle is can't guard Mike. Well, you can't guard Tyreek Hill. Like they double team him, put a safety over the top all the time, and he still gets open deep. Like it doesn't matter what you do, he will get open. We saw in the Super Bowl, they held him down and held him in check for 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, all it took is one play made by Tyreek Hill for that game to turn around, and that was the difference in the outcome. And Tyreek Hill is that kind of person. And he's not just a deep threat. We've seen him take handoffs, screens. He's multidimensional, and he's a better route runner than people give him credit for. He's not just, you know, a run fast guy. He's a savvy route runner, you know, to his own credit too. He's a good route runner. So he's multidimensional, can be used in multiple areas of the field. And I think he's someone that is truly unguardable because there's no defense that can contain his speed. He really has not only elite, but I'm going to say rare. You know, when I do grades on players, elite is not the top. It's the second to top. The top category when I have for grades is rare. And that when you have rare speed, like no one can stop you. Or you have a rare trait, no one can stop that trait. So I have Tyreek Hill as rare speed, and just you can't just defenses are scared of him, and we all know that. So he's my pick at 4, and I was kind of hoping he'd be the guy that's left at 4, and I'm pretty happy I get him here.
Let's get to some of these comments. These guys are flying. Let's see. Jake Friel from earlier says, "What's up, boys? Kevin, you might need an intern for your KFC internet." Let me see here. Eileen was asking you, Kevin, how many more years is Edelman's contract?
2 more. He had just signed an extension.
Kenny was saying, I think Thomas is one of the best, but I have to put Tyreek Hill and DeAndre Hopkins over Thomas in pure and rare talent. Let's see here. We also had Ted FX. Was Chuck's happy when we drafted Hurts, or was that just a rumor?
No, I think
that is.
I was the only one happy about the Hurts pick. The Hurts pick. There's just even you guys made a meme about it with me like crying, my crying face. So that was my reaction to the Hurts pick. I was very, very upset along with everyone else, but I was the only one in A2D that was excited about the Rieger pick.
Julio is saying the Eagles could have had Hopkins for a bag of chips and a 4th round pick. Yeah, I mean, again, I think they made a lot of good moves, like we've talked about on a lot of the shows, offensively and defensively for the Eagles. But I think, at least in my opinion, I'm not going to speak for everyone here, but my worry is that we're going to look back on this offseason and talk about missed opportunities to get guys that have been in this league. And I'm fine with Rager and the guys that we got, but when you have opportunities to get DeAndre Hopkins, who, regardless of how you think, if it's either 1 or, best wide receiver or top 3, when you have an opportunity to get him, and then
it was a missed opportunity for sure.
I really don't think we had as good of a chance to get him as people think. I think that the asking price for him was much higher than what they were asking from Arizona, because I think they really thought that David Johnson was an asset, and we weren't going to give up Miles Sanders. They wanted a running back. So I don't think that's as realistic as an option as some fans say it was.
Would you have given up Sanders for I think I know the answer for you, Chuck. So would you have given up Sanders for Hopkins?
If it was straight up, I would have. But the thing we would have had to give up more than that and pay him. And pay him a new contract. That's what's different. We would have had to give Sanders probably a 1st-round pick, another mid-round pick, and even more for him, and then give him a huge contract on top of that. That all of that put together doesn't make it worth it for me. But if you're just talking straight up, I mean, I would have traded Sanders for Hopkins, and then 1st-round pick, I would have gone Clyde Edwards-Helaire if you want to replace Sanders. So that would have been my move.
Sanders is just replaceable like that.
Well, with him,
I never thought I would ever see you do that to your son.
I'm also trying to be objective here. Like, with Sanders, he still hasn't reached the elite tier yet, even though we believe he will. But with Hopkins, we already know what he is. And I think we all know that with running backs, it's easier to find an elite running back in rounds 1, 2, and 3 than it is to find an elite wide receiver. And I followed it up with saying I would have loved Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So if we had hypothetically gotten rid of Sanders, I would have been pounding the table for Clyde.
Gotcha. Would anybody else have made that move? Say, for example, with Sanders in a 4th or Sanders in a 3rd for Hop?
No.
Really? Okay. Tom? I can't hear him.
Is he muted?
I can't hear him.
He's muted.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd make that trade.
Yeah.
The best wide receiver in football. They don't come available all the time. I'm not saying running backs are a dime a dozen, but if I do my homework, I can go get another one.
Yep.
Yeah. I love Miles, but that's just facts.
Yeah. I do that.
You have to factor the contract in. Yeah, I mean, you have to factor that in. So, I mean, can't run from that. So, I mean, that's definitely part of it, part of the equation.
Kenny saying Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, and Larry Fitzgerald in his top 5. Wow.
Fitz ain't top 5 anymore. No way Fitz is top 5.
He's just putting body at work in, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't.
Is Fitz a top 10 all time?
I think so. Yeah.
I'll put him up there.
Don, local Detroit Lions fan, saying, would Antonio Brown be first if he didn't do all the stupid stuff last season?
Absolutely.
I have to see what he did. I would have to see what he's done.
I already know what he would.
The last time he took the field, Chucks, he had the fastest feet I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Anyone.
But
So
like, if you're telling me, like, am I projecting that over? If is he having a typical Antonio Brown season? Then yeah, because I had Antonio Brown as the best wide receiver for years.
Okay.
But I don't like. That's why I needed more information. Like, if we got the same season out of him, then yeah, I would have.
Marquez giving what I believe is his top 5. He says AB, D-Hop, Hill, Julio, and Thomas. Let's see. There you go. Kenny saying don't sleep on Fitzgerald either. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, I mean, we say this every year. He's going to be retired next year, but I mean, he's only got a year or two left.
Him and Frank Gore are vampires.
Yeah, very true.
I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know how. They're like approaching 20 years in the league, I think, aren't they?
It's crazy.
Marquez agrees with Tom. He says, thanks, Tom. Not to mention backs' careers are half of receivers. It's a no-brainer. Let's see. And then Julio giving his top 5. He says, Hopkins, Thomas, Jones, Hill, and Adams are my top 5. And then Pootie Tang chiming in saying, yo, what's up, Pootie?
Tang.
What up, Pootie Tang?
Pootie Tang.
So it's me, right, Chucks?
You're
Yes.
up, Ryan.
Damn. See,
Come on.
there's a lot of ways I can go with this. Similar last
I
week.
know who I want you to take. I hope you take him, but I don't think you will. Maybe you will.
It's like, do I go with a guy who's always been reliable and done it in big moments, or do I take somebody off of potential? And
When
again,
you have the wraparound, you can take both of them.
Is this going to be a shock pick?
I don't know. If this is a shock pick, then maybe just kick me off the show because I don't think it's a shock pick. I always say reliability is the best is the best ability. Availability and reliability is the best ability. I'm going with the guy that, we talk about how he has a quarterback, kind of going back to the Mahomes and Drew Brees, type arguments that, maybe these quarterbacks are making the receivers look better. But at the end of the day, especially over the last handful of seasons, we know in big game moments or just in the middle of any point of a game, Aaron Rodgers is throwing to Davante Adams. Everyone on the field knows it. Everyone in the stadium knows it. And they still get it done. He still gets the job done when it matters. I could have gone Odell here based off of potential and, he had a bad quarterback. But I can go a million different routes, but I'm going to go with the guy who's been reliable to a guy like Aaron Rodgers when really over the last handful of years, they haven't really supplied any other weapons, especially receiver-wise, except for Davante Adams. So to me, I'm going Davante Adams with the 5th pick. And plus, he's not all – I don't understand – there's a narrative going around that he's always banged up. He's missed I think the most games he's missed in the season was 4. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't miss a ton of games. He's not missing chunks of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, the guy's reliable. And to be the first pick in my wide receiver core, I'm going with a guy that has done it in the biggest moments with a guy like Aaron Rodgers, obviously. And with my team, having him go, along with Tom Brady and Lamar Jackson, I think that'd be really valuable.
Nice.
Was that the direction you thought I was going to go in, Chucks?
No, I thought you were going to, but I don't hate it. I really like that pick.
Okay.
So am I officially up now? My 6?
Yeah, you're on the
6.
boomerang.
The long wait's over, and you guys put a guy right. You guys put a guy right in my goddamn lap. A 26-year-old, big, physical, catch radius. Maybe some of the best of the guys we talked about. Right there. You want to talk about not playing with quarterbacks? You want to talk about playing with nobody? Well, guess what? You're coming home, and you're going to play with Russell Wilson. And when Russell's done, you're going to play with Kyler Murray. And I'm bringing Mike Evans to this squad right here.
Good pick.
To me, he's a top 5 guy, depending on who you want to leave out. But the numbers are there year in, year out. Doesn't get the advantage, though, of playing with the likes of Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees and Deshaun Watson. So he's had to deal with Jameis Winston his whole career, and I think he's done a hell of a job with it. So that's what I'm going with 6. Listen, I love him, and he's younger than people think. I feel like he was older too.
Yeah, I didn't know he was 26.
Yeah, only 26, still a baby, really.
Wow.
So when you're building a squad, I'm happy you fell here. I was nervous. I thought Ryan was going to go there, and not that I would have been mad with Davante Adams at all. I mean, I'm good, but I thought that's what was going to fall to me right there. I didn't think I was going to be able to get Evans at 6, but shows you. I mean, there's some great wide receivers out there.
Absolutely. I love that because Evans doesn't get talked about a lot, but I think he always should, because if you look at his stats, I checked his stats last year because I was doing rankings for fantasy and everything. And like, I look back at his stats and I'm like, this guy has never had less than 1,000 yards in a season. He's always had 1,000 yards. If you want to talk about reliability and what you said, Tom, playing with a bad quarterback while at it, that is fantastic production. And like Mike Evans, he might not be like a great yak guy or the quickest guy, but when we talk about an elite trait, what does he do best? He goes deep and he goes up and gets it. And
now what you going to do with Brady now, right, Chuck? Like we've seen the numbers with Winston. Like now you got a goat in the house and a lot of weapons around, which makes a lot of one-on-one for you on the outside when you talk about Rob Gronkowski in-house now in Tampa too. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of season he has this year with even a better quarterback. Now, the one thing Jameis did well, and Tampa was always down, so they had to throw the ball. So, that can inflate some numbers here and there. But, I mean, to me, he's right in the top echelon, and we'll see. We'll see where he ends up. But he's right there. I mean, he's top 6 anywhere you want to place it.
I'm a fan
Now
of
his coach, too.
Come back to me again? How's this work?
Yep, it's you again.
It's a snake.
So I get snake. I get double dipped here.
You get double dip.
Man. I mean, there's parts of me that would take his teammate right now, too, but I'm not going there. All right? I'm not going to do that.
I would have loved it if you did.
He can play a little bit, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. The next one, it's a tough one. This is tough.
There are that's the thing about wide receivers. Like you have that top tier, like of elite guys, and that second tier, or however you want to do it. There's a lot of really, really good guys out there, man.
No, there really is. You know what? Let me look real quick. I might have my guy. I think I have my guy. I might go with another 26-year-old, another puppy. Guy not talked about a lot either. Sort of under the radar. There was other guys that might have the better sex appeal here. Okay. But I'm going to go Kenny Golladay.
Get some big body guys.
Ooh, Pete, surprised. Pete has questions.
Big body guys.
There's not. I mean, who? Pete, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Juju, Russian City. Amari, soft as shit. Odell, we don't know who the hell he is. The only other guy that's in the conversation right there, up there, Thielen's there. I get it, right? But I don't love Thielen. Like I don't love it. I don't love it. I think there's more. I think Golladay has a big time potential. I think we've seen that. You call it Rico you want. Call it Rico you want.
No, for me, it's not that I don't like Golladay. It's the fact that you just took.
I do like him a lot. Yeah, I do like him a lot.
It's not my last pick though.
No, but you have a long ways before you get back. So I mean,
you now have the last pick.
Oh, Pete, if you can't go up and get balls with me, you're in trouble then, aren't you? Because we're gonna go up and balls. Think about
that's
Think
true.
Think about Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf's relationship, right? A guy can go get it. I'm thinking about plays breaking down, and listen, it's a little bit of a reach pick. I'm not disagreeing, and I wouldn't reach there if that was my 6. The reason I got Mike Evans and I got my star, now I can sort of be like, all right, I'm gonna take on potential on what I think a guy can be over the likes of Odell. Thielen's a pimp. Keenan Allen pimp. There's pimps out there. But I was like, you know what? Let me go a little bit younger and take a chance at when plays break down. And another reason, I got smaller quarterbacks too. So I'm looking at it like, hey, I gotta be able to see my guys. Let me make sure I see my guys running routes too.
Yeah.
I want big chest numbers, right? Like I want the chest big. I can see it. So I don't know. Maybe that's my justification for a reach pick, but I like Golladay. I really do. I think this was his breakout year.
Right.
So again, the track record's not fully there, but he's also 26 as well. So we'll see. But I like it because I'm already safe there. That's how I looked at it. I'm already safe. When do I pick a cat? You guys tell me my draft order. I don't even know how I pick a cat.
You're picking
17. You're the last pick in the draft.
Yeah. Last pick in the round.
I didn't get that spreadsheet.
18.
It's me now, right, Chuck?
Hey, don't blame me. It's Fantasy Pros. The draft.
I just wanted to know when I was, when I was back up. So now I might throw something. All right.
For my second pick in the draft, following Devontae Adams, I'm going to go with Mike Evans' teammate. I'm going to go with Chris. I'm going to go with Godwin.
Wow.
Again, the guy who's, I think Chrome just got mad at my pick and he's gone now. At the end of the day, the guy who's been reliable along with Mike Evans. Mike Evans, I completely agree, is a very good player.
Right. Can I say something real quick before I forget because it's going to get forgotten?
Yeah.
I talk about Godwin's coming on the scene, right? That's his third full season, right? So when we talk about young wide receivers all the time, we talk about that third year. Sort of now we're going to know who you are, right? So last 2 years ago, he had 1,000 yards, right? Had 70 catches, but only had 5 touchdowns, right? Well, the breakout comes with 1190 this past year, 5 less catches, but Marvin Jones had a good year too, right? But the 11 TDs and the average of over 18 yards a catch. Over 18 yards a catch. So that's sort of what I look him going to be in his third year. 11 TDs, 18 yards a catch, 1,100 yards. That's all. Let's go. I had to say that real quick.
Because at the end of the day, I think Mike Evans, you could say he has a higher ceiling than Chris Godwin, but especially for a guy like Jameis Winston, who he's a nightmare waiting to happen, whether it's 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. I think he was the most reliable guy for him. And he's, again, entering his third year, to your point exactly, Tom, to where you figure out exactly who the guy's going to be in his third year. The guy's 24 years old, and he was one of the best wide receivers in the league this past year, fantasy-wise and just regardless. And on top of that, a guy who has only missed 2 games in his career. Ultimate reliability go along with Devontae Adams, and I think that can only help each other because you see, okay, Devontae Adams, he had to basically do it all himself with friggin' no-name wide receiver here, no-name wide receiver here alongside of him in Green Bay. And now you have Chris Godwin to where you talk about Mike Evans really, really being helped with playing with a good quarterback for once. You put that same category for a guy like Chris Godwin, go into a system with obviously Lamar or Tom Brady, whichever one you want to pick. And also on top of that, to where that can even go to your third quarterback who I had, which was Tua, to where he's a guy where if you want to have him go along with them as they both age, he's already shown the ultimate reliability. So I've got 2 guys to where, it's not crazy breakout speed like a Tyreek Hill, but I think it's consistency, and they're both 2 of the top 7 wide receivers in the game.
I love Godwin.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that pick there. I've always liked Godwin because of the go up and get it mentality, right? There's something that you can't teach in a player. It's to stand next to a guy like Chris, who I put up there right on that fringe top 5 guy, and say, no, I'm just as good. Throw me the ball when we're down by 30 points, because having Winston back here, that they're gonna be, and do just as well. Somebody that can take the top off and score late in games to try to keep you into something. That's something you really can't teach, is that heart to stay in a game when most guys will be out of it at that point. So if you give them a guy, in your system like Lamar, is going to keep you there, and it's just going to feed off of each other. To me, that's a great pick. I think that he ends up being right there with Evans, in the next couple of years, a top 5 guy. So great pick.
Thanks, Kev.
Prism, I don't know if it's the same season. We can't minus 5 touchdowns and call it.
Yeah, minus 5 touchdowns a lot.
I feel where you're coming from, but Michael Gallup can't hold Galladay's jockstrap right now, so I can't go there.
Yeah,
I can't go there. minus 5's a lot. That's a lot of TDs taken off the board there.
Yeah.
So we had 6.
Minus 5 is imagine if you could add 5 to the JJ Whiteside.
Yeah, big year.
Big year. Big rookie year. All right, we're back at me, aren't we? So
yes.
at this pick, this is what, the 10th pick now? If I'm going 10th pick, I'm going with someone who
9.
Who does the 9th? Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry. Someone who I personally have long considered elite, but because of some off-field antics and having a down year this season because of bad team, people have forgotten about a little bit. But I have never given up on his ability, and I still think he is an elite talent that could have a breakout year if this team breaks out. And that's Odell. Give me OBJ in the second round all day to go with Tyreek Hill. And that is a ton of athleticism at the outside that I am glad to have on my team any day of the week. Either one of them can beat you deep, can beat you short, intermediate, take a handoff. I love that. So I love the pairing of OBJ with Tyreek.
Love it.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, Chuck's off of like skill and talent, it's flat out loaded, right? Like I think you're safe with Tyreek, and honestly, I think you're safe with Odell. I just think it was a weird year. I don't think that's who he is. I think if we do this draft last year, I think he goes probably where I picked, and the only reason I let him slide. And I got to remember what I'm bringing to my locker room too a little bit. So that's sort of his knock. But in terms of ability, in terms of all the rest, man, on the field, like I'll take that guy on my team any day of the week. And I always laugh when people say they want it. I laugh at it.
Yeah,
I really do. Like you love the guy if he plays for you. He played for the Giants. We're built to hate the Giants. The same thing like whenever I get Bryce Harper on A2D, I'm going to ask him if it was okay for me to hate him when he played for the Nationals. Was that okay that I hated you but love you now? Is that allowed? I want to know your feelings. Probably a question that's never been asked to him. Well, same thing with a lot of these guys. Odell played here. Them jersey sales will be record sales here if Odell came to Philly. So I love them idiots. I don't want them. Yeah, you do.
It's a joke.
You know what's funny too? You know what's funny too? Everyone and Tom, I understand completely what you're saying, but like people talk about last season like it was like a disaster, and really in a disastrous season, probably we all agree it's probably as bad of a season as he can have, except for obviously just missing the entire season due to injury or something like that.
Yeah,
he still had over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Still, you know what I'm saying? He still had a pulse.
How many touches did he have, Rye?
74.
74 catches.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, like quietly, pretty good year.
And that's to your point, Tom. With a quarterback who struggled and an offensive line that was hideous.
Hey, listen, the quarterback struggled because of your second point, right? You know, and I'll make an excuse, but like, you're right. You can't protect you ain't winning in this league, and they hopefully shored that up. And if they shored that up, hopefully it relaxes Baker. And then you talk about 74 yards and 74 catches in a down year. Shit, I don't want to see that man in his best year.
Good year, like the past 2 seasons. He's got what? He's got, so you talk about 74 catches, 1,035 yards. The year before, 2018, with the Giants, 77 catches, 1,052 yards. With those 2 years, he had Baker on a down year with, like you said, we've talked about with a bad online. And then the Giants, he was with Eli Manning and the bad online. So you're talking about a guy who likes to go deep a lot with his routes. And when you have no O-line to block for that quarterback and the quarterback can't throw deep, then what is he doing? Like, I love this comment here because I laugh when guys like this say stats don't lie. Well, yes, they do, because this is an example of stats lying. Because the past 2 seasons, if you watch film, Odell Beckham Jr. gets open all the time. All the time, he gets open down the field. But it's not his fault that the quarterbacks can't throw to him, can't throw deep, or their O-line can't protect long enough so the quarterback can throw deep to him. So that's an example of don't be misled by numbers all the time. Like Odell Beckham Jr. is still an elite talent in this league.
And the only thing, and this kind of like, because I almost went Odell at 5 for a second. The only thing that people can slightly take a shot at him with is not even, again, what he did last year or even the outside stuff, because that's a layup. It's the fact that he's banged up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, you taking him second, like if you would have taken him third, I'd be like, okay, well that's a little crazy.
Yeah.
But taking him 9th with your second pick, also following. Yeah, exactly. You would have taken a break. Exactly. Especially and I love him. I'm not trying to do this, but to go along with the quarterback that you took number 2 to where it seems like you're trying to create a culture of just guys being banged up all the time. You know what I'm saying? You got Wentz, you got Beckham, you know what I mean? So you kind of combine it to where you're taking him 9th. Yeah, he's been banged up. Like he only played 4 games 2-3 seasons ago. But other than that, his worst year is some of these receivers' best years.
Yes.
And that's with, again, like we talked about, O-line horrible. Baker struggled. Freddie Kitchens was asleep at the wheel. The Browns were just the Browns. And also on top of that, he had like Jarvis Landry had a big year. You had other options on top of that.
That tight end when he came off. That was fun. No Joku hurt them actually too. I mean, I think their production would have even been higher if he wasn't banged up all year. And I think I hurt Baker Mayfield's progress too because they had a good sort of chemistry rookie year. So I think that sort of hurt his progress a little bit too. But yeah, I mean, Chuck, you're right. You can't just look at stats. Go look at him. I mean, the guy's open. The guy was open in New York a lot. And it's, do you want to deal with somebody extra? But everybody you talk to, they seem to say the same thing about him, just wants to win. So I hear that from players. I tend to lean towards players' sides because nobody that formerly played with him would have any reason to stick up for it.
That's what I've said. None of his former teammates ever knock him for being a bad teammate.
Never hear it. Never
hear it. Never.
And again, to kind of to your point,
right, real quick, this is an emotional sport. We sit at home and think they're computer players like all the time. Like it's mad. This is emotional. Sports are emotional. When I talk sports, just talk sports, I get emotional. Well, like all of us do. It's an emotional sport. So we're just talking. When you play it, your emotions are so high. We've all played sports. Everybody on this panel's played. So we know how it feels, like emotion-wise, to not succeed or whatever the case may be. So I can't knock guys for showing emotion. I laugh at them. I joke about it. Absolutely. But you look at him like, okay, when he left New York, did everybody badmouth him? Because then you're going to know right away.
It's so easy to do it.
Easy. It's not coming back.
Yeah, exactly. And the Prism says here, every stat has to be in context. I'm just going to stop your comment there because that's what I'm talking about. Everyone wants to throw out stats to me all the time, but not include context. So I'm the Birds of a Feather guys on here. What do I preach almost every week? Stats without context mean nothing to me. You have to have context. So if you're including context in your stats, then absolutely, I'm all ears. But if you're just going to give me the box score, sorry, you lost me there. You need to give me context all the time.
And real quick,
now we all had to jump back in and out. That's what happened.
Stats without context is the reason what led Oakland to trade Moss to New England for a 5th-round pick in 2007. Because he put up no stats, right?
I can't hear Pete.
Yeah,
but there's no context there. The context is, okay, he was in Oakland and they sucked. You trade him to New England, what happens? You got Brady with the flowing hair at that time, throwing 50-some-odd touchdown passes that year. Then one was about to go undefeated next to the 1970, is it 72 Dolphins? Is that it? 72? 73?
I forget what
year.
year.
Dolphins fan just left.
So, but I mean, so that's always with the context because one man's trash is another man's treasure, to be honest with you. Especially when you look at how complicated these systems are. And if Odell, we'll go back to the poll question, is in New Orleans, I don't know what you get. And the crazy thing is
field day. Sean Payton would have with Odell.
It'd be crazy. It'd be ridiculous.
So you look at it
I just
too.
had to throw that in.
You guys were talking about earlier, and you're spot on. Not only have we looked at his career kind of in a bubble with just the Giants and the Browns, but you look at obviously the situations both organizations were in. You look at the Giants, and I would say over the last handful of years, I would say 10, 20 years, the Giants have been one of the better organizations. Obviously, 2 Super Bowls, Tom Brady and everything. But you look at when everything started to turn into now, we look at the Giants as they're not ran correctly at all. To where at times they look like an embarrassment. They look closer to the Redskins type organization than they did in the early 2000s or mid 2000s when they were winning. At least that's the first Super Bowl, and then around 2011 when they won the second. So you look at when everything started to go downhill with the friggin' Frank Mac, the McAdoos and Eli Manning starting to turn into Eli Manning now. And you looked at the guy who was the most emotional with Odell. To where I'm not saying he handled everything right. I'm not providing excuses. Listen, I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan. So I don't need to give Odell Beckham excuses. But I think the guy gets a bad rap because it was so easy, to your point, Tom, Chucks, everyone who said it before, to throw him under the bus and just say, oh, it's Odell, because he's the only one talking in the room. Because he's the only one who has the balls to talk about what really, you look back on it, he was absolutely right. He was the first one to talk bad about the direction of the organization. And what do we look now? The Giants are the worst team in the division, or second worst for the Redskins fans. You know what I'm saying? So, and then with the Browns, he shows up there, and the Browns, and I can just leave it at that. The Browns are the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, highly emotional. Obviously, one of the biggest stars in the NFL was just traded. All spotlights on him. Oh, okay, it's Odell's fault then that the offense isn't working, not the offensive line or the coach or the quarterback it's Odell because he's the profile player of that team.
Yep.
I'm not saying he does everything correctly, but I feel like it's a shame because people put the antics way over the talent. And unfortunately, I think that's why a lot of people have him not only not a top 10 wide receiver, some don't have him in the top 15, top 20, which is foolishness.
They overblow the antics. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yep. Good pick, by the way, Chucks.
So I'm hoping that with my pick here that
I'm hoping you don't take my
antics. Probably not. I'm hoping that the antics is part of it. A younger guy that I think he is a little bit suspect in the locker room. I'm hoping bringing him over here into the studio helps that out. A guy that can go up and get the ball, knows how to play with other top receivers. Join the team. There it is. There's our logo. Be on our T-shirts. You can get them in the on my site soon.
Triple H logo? Wait, that's Triple H's logo.
No, it's not. That's custom.
I think it's the Triple H logo, but anyway.
Regardless, with my pick here in the second round, I'm taking Stephon Diggs.
Okay. Nice.
Okay.
That's a good pick, Kevin.
Probably not your pick. Better than it, but we'll see.
Hey,
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh boy.
Kevin's a douche. He doesn't know what he's talking about. No, I know exactly who my pick is here. But I was gonna. Did you want to talk more about it, Kevin, or?
Yeah. So
I didn't
Stephon
think
Diggs
you had that much more to contribute to. We're good.
I mean, I did. Stephon Diggs. A little bit of a question mark, right? Had played again with Adam Thielen, who's a great underneath guy, big body receiver, very Gronk-esque. I would compare him to with his ability over the middle, just to body guys, but has the speed, to play outside. I'm not saying he's as good underneath as Gronk, but same type of stuff there.
What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Are we talking about the same Diggs?
Oh.
No. I'm saying Thielen underneath. Yeah, he played with Thielen there, so he gets some discredit on his ability pulling guys off of him. So we'll have to see what he does on his own.
You had us. We were good. You said Stephon Diggs. We were in. That's a good pick at it.
Then he started doing this.
Job, and then you had to go too far.
He had to expand.
Guys,
Because you love Gronk so much, you had to bring his damn name up. You had to. You couldn't do it.
why do you think I handed him a little bit more rope to elaborate on?
I'm just saying.
The wrong thing.
He'll be up here next week. No, I did not compare him to Gronk. I said he played alongside of a guy with Thielen who was like him. So we'll have to see what he can do, but he's got to fill in there.
That's not helping you. That is not helping you.
Yes, it is.
It's not. Unless it's opposite day, which I don't think it is.
I don't know what's worse, the comparison or the clarity down there. I don't know what's worse.
He doubled down.
Listen, we're working on the clarity. The interns will be in
that
soon.
studio. I just want to say that, by the way.
Exactly. Next week.
Love you, Kev.
We do love you, Kev.
Adam,
No,
wait, so Adam Thielen is a big-bodied. He's 6'2", 200 pounds.
Maybe it's the hair. Maybe
See, it's easy to
hair. Maybe
it's easy to pull apart. It's easy to pull apart something
All right.
when I say it like that. I said he's a bigger guy,
So-
like a Gronk underneath.
Rob
All right.
Gronkowski is
Listen.
6'6",
Listen.
265.
Listen, I'm gonna
He's 6'2", 200.
listen. I'm gonna reel you guys in because the conversation's gonna continue into my pick anyway. So I'm gonna get that in. I'm taking Adam Thielen, not because he's like Gronk. I'm taking Adam Thielen though because, and I think it's the point you're trying to get across, Kevin, but it's not really working. It's that he is very athletic. He can go up and get to a football. He can contort his body and create. He can make plays to get to the football and make big catches. If you're talking about in terms of that, I think that's where you were going until you threw Gronk in there. But I'm taking him to pair him with Julio Jones because I want a guy like that. I want a guy who can go out on the field with his athleticism, can go out and he can make athletic plays to get to the football and make big plays in big spots. To me, he's a bona fide number one wide receiver, much like Julio in the ability to go up and get the football. Adam Thielen is the same way. I want a guy who's sure-handed, who's going to be able to catch the football, who's going to be able to make plays to get to the football. So I'm going with Adam Thielen.
Me too, Prism. Me too. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
What do you
Took
say?
the words right out of my mouth, Prism.
He said Julio reminds me of Tyreek Hill too.
You know, I was wondering where I saw that guy before. Is that guy playing on two
Is this
teams?
deja vu all over again?
Is that guy playing on two teams?
All right. Kev, you still okay? I didn't know if you were frozen.
Still
or
here.
not.
Nope.
Okay.
Still sunburned.
Whew. Boy,
Wow,
Kev, we can count on you, boy.
Yeah, that's
over
true.
live
There you
when it
go.
comes to
There you
the
go,
laughs.
Kev. He says the second round
All
is just not Kevin's round. Last week, Jimmy G. Now his explanation of Diggs.
Not the pick. Last week it was the pick.
They're gonna do great together.
This
Yeah, the
week it
pick's
was
great.
just
It's just the. It's just that. It's
what
just
came,
the extra. Just the
what came
extra.
after it. It's like when you go to a restaurant and the dinner is fine. Everything up to that point is good, and then you get the dessert and it's like, what the fuck is this? That mean it's just like you were there, and then I don't know. I don't know.
It's like one of those things, right? That was a great comment, by the way.
No,
listen, no.
coming.
What number are we on? Where did our draft tracker go?
Yeah,
We have no draft tracker here.
we're at where's the ticker? There it is.
You know, I hear it a lot from my girlfriend. It's like you say things and you've made your point. Don't continue to talk and then hang yourself with it. Like,
Listen,
you got us on
I wouldn't-
board. I'm in. Don't talk
I
us
would-
out of the situation. And I think that's what that was. It was a good
See,
pick,
I've-
Kevin. I just
Yeah, now,
I-
now,
trust me.
now you made me dislike Diggs. Like now I think Diggs stinks. I loved it.
I'm now rooting
Well,
against
it's
the
gonna go beyond this now. Now I'm gonna root against Diggs going forward.
Because he played with Gronk.
See, you know, I understand it was a great pick, and I wish you guys could understand the thought process of greatness, but you just can't, and I'm okay with that. You know, I understand, but you know, when you can, see me over here in the studio. That's all.
We can't see you in the studio.
Right here.
That's the problem.
Nothing says greatness like permanent.
I'll pull up a chair. Look, I'll pull up a chair. We can all take a seat. Watch the big screen back over here.
I don't even think a chair in that
But, you know,
studio would
until
look like a
then-
chair.
Oh man.
Don't know.
This is special tonight.
Kev, is that the broken chair?
No, we're not talking about that. The intern's fixing that. Don't worry.
Speaking of Kevin, Kenny says, Kevin, interns don't understand either, but hey, you sign the imaginary paychecks.
That's right. They don't get paid to understand. They get paid to fix my chair and get my coffee. That's all I need, and maybe the internet.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
We're back at you now.
Yeah, final pick of the second round. Then we'll do a little recap of the first two picks made by everybody.
Okay, so we talk about young pups, right? We talk about young lions. Here we go. We hear TA said we hear sweeps. Shout out the sweeps on Agree to Disagree on Sundays, the flagship. And I want to get a lion, a young one. I want to get a cub. I feel like I already got my main Mufasa. My Mufasa.
Don't you freaking.
I feel like I need my Simba.
I
seen what Simba did. He had somebody's name that came up earlier. And obviously, AB's not in the league anymore. But this guy in 2018, 23 years old, put up 1,400 yards and had 111 catches. I'm going Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh, yeah, you take him. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. I wasn't, yeah. You
can have him.
Yeah.
I'm good. But I want him next to D-Hop. Because D-Hop, he's going to take all that attention away. I need Juju to operate under the slot, especially with Aaron Rodgers. And obviously, look, Chrome, I was on Thielen. And Diggs. I didn't think anybody was going to take him in the second round. So that was a shocker there. But, I mean, explanation is not so much basically on Kevin's part. But I definitely feel like Juju Smith. I could have went Jarvis Landry as well. But I like Juju here.
I would have liked.
23 years old, young pup. I'm looking to win now. We building dynasties. That's this whole draft process is. Try to build a dynasty, and I feel as if go ahead.
I was gonna say. I mean, I don't dislike the pick. I mean, he's a guy who that organization is. That's what made Antonio Brown a little bit more expendable in terms of that than they believe in him. So and they. They've never had an issue with developing wide receivers in Pittsburgh, and that's a big, important key factor. So I mean, I don't hate that pick, Pete.
Yeah, I don't
hate it.
Go ahead, Ryan.
You helped it a little bit in this argument because again, if you would have taken him and you would have had him in the same situation as he was in with Pittsburgh, to where it was basically him leading the pack, then I would have hated it. But to your point, given this exercise to where he's going to be the number 2 receiver. And he's going to have, to your point with AB, to where there's going to be a guy who's better than him that's going to take pressure off and take, obviously, the eyeballs of the defense off of him. In that aspect, I really like it. I'm not a huge fan of Juju Smith-Schuster, especially as number 1. But in this exercise, given where you took him in that situation, and then who are your quarterbacks again, Pete? Like, who's your starter?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow. And Jared Goff.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like it. I like it in that retrospect. I do.
What's funny is that...
And honestly... I was going to say, and honestly, to add to that too, Pete, people have to remember out there when we're doing this, we're not drafting... I mean, the first round kind of ends up being that, but the whole exercise is drafting our own franchise. It's not we're drafting our top 10 who we think should be in that order. So if you think Juju is that perfect counterbalance to DeAndre Hopkins, and your explanation, again, I felt like was reasonable enough for me to buy in, which is why I saw Adam Thielen as a match for what I expect from my wide receiving core with Julio Jones. It makes a lot of sense. Which, again, is why I don't hate your pick at all. I actually like it. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I was going to say is just to kind of expand on Juju a little bit is that I actually heard, I think 2 weeks ago, I was reading something on The Athletic, and the beat writer for the Steelers had like a ask me anything kind of thing on the chat room. And people were asking him about the future of Juju. And he's pretty firm in his stance, saying that Juju is not going to be there beyond this year. After this year, they're probably not going to extend him, and they're going to let him go. So it's interesting how things have changed with him in 1 year when they've seen what he can't do as a number 1 and as being like a slot receiver. It's very interesting. I think Juju definitely needs that type of wide receiver. He can't be the team's top option. And him playing in the slot has nothing to do with that. It's more of he's not the type of guy who can demand attention. And that's like, to me, I'll be honest, like I'll self-evaluate. Like I thought his ceiling and potential was much higher than what it actually was. After I saw him this year, I was dead wrong on him. I thought he was going to be elite, but he doesn't have that ability to be the focal point of an offense.
Right.
I think Julio is saying that the Eagles, in that case, should sign Juju. Julio, is that what you're saying? When the time comes?
That's what I think.
That's what
I believe so.
Anyone else interested?
So let's
in that?
recap.
I would do that.
I would do that. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's recap the first 2 rounds before we enter the third and final round. We probably really should have did a 4th round, but
technically, yeah.
for the ticker tape to go by and catch us up here.
Yeah, so Pete with the number 1 overall pick. I have it on my side screen, so I'll just read it.
Okay.
Pete with the number 1 overall pick, he went DeAndre Hopkins. Chrome with the 2nd overall pick, he went Julio Jones. 3rd, Kevin went Michael Thomas. Chuck's with the 4th overall pick, he went Tyreek Hill. With the 5th overall pick, I went with Devontae Adams. And with the final pick in the first round, Tom, with the 6th overall pick, he went Mike Evans. And then coming right around, Tom with the 1st pick in the 2nd round, 7th pick overall, went with Kenny Golladay. I went with Chris Godwin. With the 9th pick, Chucks went with Odell Beckham Jr. With the 10th overall pick, Kevin went with Stephon Diggs.
Rob Gronkowski.
With the 11th overall pick, Chrome went with Adam Thielen and or Rob Gronkowski. And number 12, rounding off the 2nd round before we head into the 3rd round, Pete finishes it off with Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, listen, I think everybody has pretty good solid pairings in this.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. The difference is going to be this 3rd round. And Pete, you're going to kick it off, buddy.
Let's go.
Who are you taking with the first pick of the 3rd round here?
First pick of the 3rd round. We talked about Mufasa. We talked about Simba. Now I'm going Mufasa's grandson.
Oh,
somebody that we all wanted to be here.
I know who he's taking. He's going to take who I want to take.
And I'm taking Jerry Jeudy.
Oh.
That's who I thought you were going to go.
Oh, I didn't think you were going there. Okay. Wow.
Don't worry, Ryan, because I'm going there.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of what you're doing. So Pete selects the first receiver, who is a rookie. He is the 1st off the board. Very nice. Very, very nice.
I don't hate it.
I got
Pete.
my X, my Y,
Pete,
my Z.
I'm right here with you, buddy. Pete, I'm right here with you.
Are you
Not
doing what I think you did last week? Are you going there again in the 3rd round?
Who, me or Chrome?
I'm taking
Chrome.
No. I'm going rookie here, buddy.
That's what I mean.
I'm going rookie. So
he's going.
I was struggling if I was going to take a rookie here because I believe that Keenan Allen, when healthy, is a top 5 wide receiver in the football league. Unfortunately, he's never healthy, and I feel like he gets lost on that Chargers football team. So there's a big part of me that wants to take him just because I've always been such a believer in him. But I'm going CeeDee Lamb here, guys.
There it is.
Oh,
I'm going with my pup.
God.
I'm going with my pup here. Give me Lamb. Put him with Julio. Put him with Adam Thielen. I got my veteran. I got my guy just a tier under in age wise, and I got my pup. Let's go.
That's what I meant.
Julio, Thielen, and Lamb. Let's go.
You dip in Dallas every 3rd round. It's 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, 2 for 2. And Dallas players in the 3rd. Good call.
Listen, things fall as they fall. I can't help it.
God. All right, Kev.
Technically, I have 2 quarterback and wide receiver pairings, by the way, in Dak and Lamb and Julio and Matt Ryan.
There you go.
Gavin, what do you mean that's bold? I mean, he was the consensus number 1 wide receiver. If he was in Midnight Green, if how he pulls the trigger some way, we all be happy.
He wasn't consensus, but he was a lot of our number 1s. I wouldn't say consensus. A lot of people had Lamb as number 1. Not me. I did it, but a lot. It was like a toss.
You give me an SEC guy who started those catches. I understand Henry Ruggs on the team as well, with the offense as well. But I mean, CeeDee Lamb, Big 12. Is there defense in the Big 12? Is there defense played?
I'm not arguing against you. I'm just saying you said consensus.
No, I'm just directing that.
Consensus. That's what I'm saying. You was not consensus. A lot of people had Lamb and number at 1. A lot of people. That's all I'm arguing.
Okay.
Don said off with his head. Here's the thing, Don, and I have always said this, whether it's fantasy football or just the competitive nature of me, I'm not one of those guys that ever has a problem taking a Dallas Cowboy or a New York Giant. There's really no Redskins that are ever worth taking, but I will, whether if money's on the line or a chance to bust these guys' balls, I'll take whoever's out there.
All right, I'm anxiously waiting this pick.
Kevin.
So for me, outside of obviously the trend that we've been going in, there's only one guy that out of this group of top 3 that I would be even considering to take here that's worth it in our setup, and that's George Kittle. We are throwing in there is tight ends in here. I'm looking at guys. The top 3 consensus across the league is Hurts.
He made Chuck's walk off.
Chuck's, he's gone. The top 3 guys there is Kelsey, Kittle, and Ertz, right?
I hate you!
Kelsey's been in the league 7 years. I like his body of work, but if I'm going to have a guy in there to build my team around, it's going to be the next Travis Kelce, right? It's going to be Kittle, who's following right in his footsteps. The same thing with Ertz. We all know what he can do as far as ball skills. His route running underneath is unbelievable, but the age factors in. So for me, Kittle's my guy.
I hate you. You ruined everything. Ruined everything. God damn.
You think I was going to forget about him? His buddy Jimmy's over there warming up. He's waiting for
it. There we go. That explains it all.
That
explains it all.
Got his connection now. That's his tandem.
The guy who brought friggin' Jimmy D to the Super Bowl. Oh, well, he has to have his blanket. Has to have his safety blanket.
Hey, never leave home without one.
All right.
Who's up? Is it you, Chucks?
I am, and I gotta make a.
Don't you make the mistake. Chucks, don't make the mistake.
Do 4 rounds tonight.
What up?
Do 4 rounds tonight. That's all. That way you can circle back and get it.
You guys are down to do 4 rounds.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. All right, 4 rounds it is. All right, cool. So
Get the 4.
With you going that route, I have to now backpedal. And all right, so I've got my guys who can do everything all over the field. I need someone to complement them, kind of. And Kittle was my guy, but as a backup plan, I'm gonna take someone that, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take someone that Chrome and I loved a couple years ago. There's even a video of us on the show celebrating this guy, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with the guy that we wanted as Aguilar's replacement, and that's Deebo Samuel.
I love him, but that's a reach.
Deebo, I love the way Deebo plays, and he showed us.
I take it back from Tom. I put the hands your way now. Buddy.
Oh, my God. I feel like that. Who's that character from Friends who dates Chandler, the lady? Oh, my God. What's her name?
Janice.
Janice. I feel like Janice from Friends. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
What?
Wow. That's a reach.
Wow.
It ain't a reach to me because we've seen
Chandler Bang.
Lamb.
Kevin. Still got another round, Kevin. So
it can all come back to you,
yourself
Kevin.
Again.
So
don't worry.
You may have been let off the hook,
I will explain why that's not a reach, because everyone's going young now, right? We had a youth movement, so I wanted to do the same. And with Deebo, we saw in that offense he is a number one wide receiver. He as after the first few weeks, he was absolutely killing it on that field. He's a do-it-all guy. He's got a ton of potential. I love how he's a yak guy. He loves taking the ball in short routes, and he makes plays after the catch. So if I'm clearing space with the other two guys, I've got someone to complement him. Not to the same extent as Kittle, but I think the world of Deebo Samuel. So I don't think it's a reach. You guys can say it's a reach, but I know there are other guys on here. Tyler Lockett. I like Tyler Lockett, but I already have vertical threats. I like Cortland Sutton, but he's on the outside. So
we got the point. Let other people go so we keep it moving. The point is, the difference is, me and Pete went young because we thought we were only having third rounds. You had the benefit of a fourth round, knowing, and I guarantee you would have got Deebo Samuel in the fourth round.
I didn't know that.
Guarantee nobody.
Well, I didn't know that. I wouldn't know that. I don't know that.
Guarantee it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know that. I don't know how high you guys.
With a show of hands, was anybody even thinking about taking Deebo in the third or fourth round? Raise your hand.
Okay, well, now hindsight's 2020. You guys can say it now, but if you guys
no, it's 100. It's 100 because nobody's taking Deebo Samuel in the top 20.
That's fine, but before, did you take this vote before I made my pick? If you had taken the vote before I made my pick, then I would have known. Okay, if he's going to be there, then I'm not going to take it. But it's a whole thing of I don't know for sure if he's going to be there, so I'm going to take my guy.
Two things. Number one. No, we didn't take the vote beforehand because I don't think anybody in their right mind would have taken Deebo Samuel in the top 18. Number one, and number two, nobody has Deebo Samuel on their board. And what are we It's like this is the Jalen Hurts pick again. You are Howie Roseman again. Jalen Hurts,
number one wide receiver for the Niners.
You could have taken Jalen Hurts in the fourth. You could have taken Deebo in third. No shot.
Niners this year. Was he not the number one wide receiver for the Niners as a rookie? Was he not the number one wide receiver?
You're saying that when he had you had freaking Marquise Goodwin with him, Chucks.
Marquise Goodwin was hurt.
That's my point. Thank you for confirming.
Yeah, but there was no one else. There was no one else besides Emmanuel Sanders.
All right, hold on. Exactly my point.
So did he not play well? Are you saying that he did not?
He's a good player. He's a good player.
Hold on.
Thank you, Kenny.
Guys, let's calm down for a minute. Let's calm down for a minute.
Fitzgerald before him. No, Kenny.
He lost our credibility.
Kenny Smart. I might hire him as my intern.
Take Fitzgerald.
Look at Deebo. Hold on. Here's how I look at Deebo Samuel. Okay. Again, he's a guy who, knowing I have 4 rounds, if he is available to me in the 4th round, I take him. Mm-hmm. If he's not, to me, it would be no skin off my back. He's not a guy to lose sleep over if I'm building my franchise, which is why, to me, whether you knew or didn't know we would take him, to me, it's such a reach in round 3.
I disagree.
Such a huge reach in round 3.
2 words.
So, I mean, I get it. I like Deebo.
Yeah,
if you just said in round 4, Deebo Samuel would have been like, I don't hate it. I just think it's such a reach at this point.
All right, who would you
and we can agree to disagree on it.
If we're forming a team and you're looking at the guys that I have now, if I want someone who
you got two top tight ends out available.
Who is left on the board that you would absolutely take? Who has the potential of Deebo? Who would you take? So I already covered Tyler Lockett. I liked, but he's a deep guy. Right, I already covered him. Cortland Sutton is only an outside wide receiver, so he's not someone who I can put underneath and in the slot. Who else am I looking at? DJ Moore. I have Deebo and DJ Moore about the same kind of level right now. So I mean, who else? Keenan Allen.
I would rather take an AJ Brown than Deebo.
Keenan Allen has the injury concerns and he's got the age. So who else is out there that's light years ahead of Deebo? That I would have that it's really that big of a deal to take.
I'll answer that question with it's me, right? I don't want to jump the gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll answer that question. This is the easiest pick of all time. Keenan Allen, 100% because of 2 reasons. Number one, anyone who says he has health concerns, he's been healthy all 16 games the last 3 years. So anybody who's saying he has health, I don't know what world we're living in. Second of all, age, he's 28 years old. 28 the new 40? Keenan Allen to me is a top 10 wide receiver in this league. So to me, you let Keenan Allen fall to me at 16-7, wherever the hell I'm picking right now. In the third round.
Kevin did too. Pete Crome and Kevin did.
I'm addressing everybody. I'm addressing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking.
Pete and Crome thought we only had. I even said I would take Keenan Allen, but Pete and Crome thought we only had 3 rounds. Otherwise, Keenan Allen would have been gone at my pick.
Yeah,
which is fine. I'm fine with the way it is, but let's not say, "Oh, Pete and Crome would throw us in there," because I'm sure I would have taken him at that point. I've already said that clearly.
Listen, no complaints here, my man. I'll take Keenan Allen. I'll go to bed. Healthy all 6. If anything, you know what's funny? Keenan Allen's not only never an injury concern, he's the most healthy receiver on my team. He's the most healthy. Yeah. What do you know? 28 years old, the best wide receiver on the one. Everyone says the Chargers have a great offense, great roster. So I'll take the best guy to catch the football. Take him 3rd in the round. Devontae. Who did I take 2nd? It's all blur. Who did I take 2nd? Chris Godwin and Keenan Allen. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're overrating this a little bit now. I'll let you spew to the people and tell everybody how he's a top 10 wide receiver. Go right ahead. He's outside the top 10. He's about around where you took him. If you want to blame Chucks and Kev for maybe passing on him, but that's right around where he is. I mean, he's not a top 10 guy. He's right on the fringe of it. He's right around a 12 to 15 guy in the league. He's good. He's a Pro Bowler, but he's not a touchdown machine. He either can't do some of the things the other guy can do. He's a damn good route runner, but let's not overhype Keenan Allen where we all let him fall to you. I would disagree with putting the whole panel of letting him fall to you and you got the steal of the draft. If anybody you want to talk, that's what we just said. I'm just confirming. I'm not fall to you.
My point. I'm not overrating it at all. My point is there's no planet.
Top 10 wide receiver. I'm telling you he's not.
Okay. So all right, we're gonna do some man. All right, so he's a top 12 then. There's no way he should be here at 16, 17. There's no way.
12 to 15. So we dropped a spot or 2.
My point is, I just said
your point was you said the whole panel let him drop to you. You were pointing at everybody.
Absolutely, and I'll continue to do that.
No, absolutely. But when I debated you, you backpedaled on it, and you said
backpedaling? Listen to what you're saying. Nobody's backpedaling.
Tell everybody, is my connection bad? Is my connection bad?
Clearly, because you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me.
I heard you. You said he's a top 10, and I'm debating the fact that he's not top 10. What did I miss? Okay.
Absolutely. In my opinion, he's a top 10. In your opinion, he's a 12.
And in my opinion,
everybody let him drop to you is wrong. Absolutely. That's all my point was. Absolutely.
And in my opinion,
so how did everybody let him drop to you at 16? I didn't even pick in the 3rd round yet. So how did everybody on the panel let him drop to you right now? Explain that. That's the question I have for you.
Because
that's what you said.
Because we didn't know that we were going 4 rounds until now.
I didn't either. Nobody did. Don't put that on me.
There's nothing to do with nothing. I'm asking how we all let him. You said we all let him fall to you in the 3rd round. I didn't even freaking pick yet. So how did this whole panel? He's a 12 to 15 wide receiver. He didn't fall that far. He fell a couple spots, realistically.
I disagree.
Yeah,
I disagree.
Disagree with what? Look at the numbers. Look at it.
We always talk about it. We always talk about how
they put him behind all the time. They throw the ball more than anybody in the league, essentially. Right? Phil Rivers throws the ball 40, 50 times a game. I'm telling you, look at the numbers. The touchdown numbers are never there consistently enough. All right? He's a good wide receiver. Nobody's debating that. I told you, he's a hell of a route runner. Great addition to your ball club. But to say top 10, I think is a little bit unfair. That's it. I'm not like a huge debate. But to say we all let him drop you was all my point. I didn't let him drop you. I didn't pick yet.
There's two things on top of that. Number one, the only reason I addressed the entire panel is because Chuck C went, "Oh no, it's me." I'm not. My point is, I'm not singling anybody out.
Don't be scared of Chuck. Single him out. You don't like his pick at Debo Samuel.
I wasn't singling him out. You go back. I wasn't.
Okay, but don't single us out. Because I didn't pick in the 3rd round. That's my point. So attack the guy who made the bad pick, not everybody else. I didn't make Debo Samuel.
I feel like once we go back and talk about what we said,
no. Go back and listen to everything you said. Top 10. No, he's not. You let everybody let him drop to me. No, we didn't. That's it. There's no other debate.
regardless of if he's a top 10 or top 12 or top 15, in my opinion, he's a guy who is the best receiver on one of the better offenses in the league over the last 3 years. I sat back and heard that the guy's injury prone. He hasn't missed a game in 3 years. The guy's the best receiver on a team.
Me and you were arguing. I didn't say anything about injury prone. So when we're arguing, let's clear up what I said. I didn't say nothing about injury prone. I say he's a damn good wide receiver. You're making the Chargers offense out like the greatest show on turf. When did that happen?
Didn't Chrome just talk about, like, before we went to this round, like, oh, it's not about drafting who, like, the best. It's about forming an actual team. But yeah, when I'm actually picking someone that is forming my team, I get criticized. So you took
Debo Samuel. You took Debo Samuel.
And so
Chucks, you're not helping. You're not helping.
There's better guys.
Just because I wanted to, I'm higher on Debo than maybe some other people. But then look at this. Brodo's higher on Keenan Allen than Tom. But I'm the only one. I'm the one that's reaching.
No. It's not about being higher. He's not a top 10. That's factual. Ask anybody. He's not top 10.
Look at that.
He's outside of it. Okay? He overvalued him a tiny bit. I just didn't like it. And he said that I let him drop to him. No, I didn't. So that's it. He's right around where he went to. We can't even start throwing words in because you made a bad pick at Debo Samuel. And Ryan capitalizes on Keenan Allen and then tries to, instead of just attacking you, which should have happened, it becomes all wrestling. Yeah, attack the guy who picked Debo Samuel in front of him.
Chucks, I think the worst thing, I think we found something that's worse than your actual pick. And that's the fact that you're going to try to compare. Chucks,
I love this.
It only picks up one guy at a time, Chucks, one time. At the end of the day, it's actually worse. Instead of you actually picking Debo, that you tried to compare Debo to Keenan Allen. The fact that you even just did that is preposterous to me. It's preposterous. You have one guy who was a pretty good player in that system with nobody else around him, nobody else, and you had Chuck. You can't. You just said 5 minutes ago that there was nobody else. So now there was somebody else.
Real quick, before Chuck starts going again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Debo Samuel, Kyle Shanahan's offense. I'd much rather have. He said, "Who would I take before Debo Samuel?" And he's in the same draft class. I would have rather had AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown at Tennessee, with defense of Mike Vrabel's coaching, pops more in Kyle Shanahan's offense more than Debo Samuel. For Chucks, it comes right down to the fact that he really has Debo Samuel higher than everybody else. That's cool. That's perfectly fine. But I mean, the rest of us, I don't think we agree with that. Mm-mm. You know, we much rather have Keenan Allen over Debo Samuel.
And to set the record straight, I don't hate Keenan Allen. I just think for what I'm looking for, if I'm forming my team, Debo fits what I'm looking for to round out my wide receivers more than Keenan Allen. I love having yak guys. As you can see, my team, my wide receiver core is full of yak guys. So I wanted someone that can take over in the slot for my guys. I would have picked Kittle, but Kevin had to mess that up. Who was another yak guy?
Kevin threw you for a loop.
Thank you, Kevin, by the way.
So, I mean, I am not backing down from my Debo Samuel pick. You know, I still would pick him. And anyone who's disrespecting Debo Samuel needs to watch him over and play toward the end of the season again and in the playoffs.
He's disrespecting Debo Samuel.
Prism is there where Debo Samuel could have signed as an undrafted free agent. Yeah, okay. So Debo Samuel is a really good player, a very, very good player with high upside. And a few years from now, don't be surprised if he's a near elite talent. That's what I've always seen in him. So if I have him as high as I do, I feel very confident in where I picked him. I love how he fits on my team, and I'm not backing down.
Real quick, the injury concerns with Keenan Allen, I believe the ACL was twice, and that's where that sort of stems from. But that, you're going back, I believe the end of 2014, and that carried through to 2016 for him. So there's a really missed time for him, and like Rye said, the last 3 years is, it's been 16 all the way through. I don't even want to use it as a concern because he catches a lot of balls. You know what I mean? 2 out of the last 3 years, 100 catches. But the issue I always have with him a little bit is the catches are there, but the yards are never there. So for the amount of catches, that's what separates him. That's the only reason not top 10. Like catch-wise, dude, the numbers are there, but why is it 12 yards a catch? Why you only have 1,100 yards when you caught 104 passes? It doesn't the catches don't add up to the yards. And then you had 104 catches, and two out of 3 seasons you had 100+ catches, and the third one you had 90 catches, and you only have 6 touchdowns every year. So all them catches and not the end zone, that's the only separation. So I don't want anybody to think I'm not Keenan Allen. It's a great pick, right, where you got him. So I was just arguing because I felt like I got thrown in the Chucks and shit.
No.
I had nothing to do with him dropping to you. You know?
No, like I said,
the touchdowns aren't there and the yards aren't there. And the yak's not there or the yards per catch. They're the limits that he has. Catches everything.
My point is, at the end of the day, regardless of if one guy has him ranked 10th or 9th or somebody has him ranked friggin' 20th, my point is, if you would have told me at this, at the beginning of the show that I would have had the opportunity to take a Keenan Allen type with my third pick, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, with that mixed with the injury history, like there's just so many things that again, Chuck, I love you to death, but the combination of the 2 picks before going tight end, then a guy who I didn't even have on the board, then Keenan Allen, I'm like, well, okay, because I would have never. I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to take DJ Moore. I might get stuck with freaking Amari Cooper, and I hate Amari Cooper. But the fact that I get somebody like Keenan Allen to go behind the other 2 guys, like I said, I appreciate it. That's all.
And you're ecstatic about your pick. I'm ecstatic about mine. So
fantasy football. It's like fantasy football.
When you draft in fantasy football, everyone thinks their team is the best.
It's a similar thing with the Kevin and the Diggs thing, to where like he's making us now kind of root against Diggs. You're kind of making me now root against Debo. Now it's kind of gone to that.
You can root against Debo all you want, and he's gonna ball out.
Tom, I believe it's your selection.
So we want to take shots at the board, then I'm going to be the first one to take a shot at the board. You cannot like the Cowboys. You can think whatever the hell you want of the Dallas Cowboys. You can think whatever you want of Amari Cooper. But you want to talk about a top 10 wide receiver dropping? This is a top 10 wide receiver who's 25 years old dropping. So you all want to say, oh, Keenan Allen, not as good as Amari Cooper. The rest of these picks in the third round, not as good as Amari Cooper. Now, because we all hate the Cowboys, so it's hard for me to do it. But I got to stick up for the guy a little bit. The production's there year in, year out. Okay? Can do a little bit of everything. Great route runner, explosive. So it fits my team where I need some explosiveness, right? And Amari Cooper's sort of a smaller guy, fits in the Mike Evans and Kenny Golladay on what I'm trying to do here. So it fits in well. But bigger than that, the production's there year in, year out. He's 25 years old. I think me included, we all forget how young he is. And, is there some issues that we saw when we played against them? The last time we saw a little softness maybe. Yeah, we saw a little bit of that. But, a lot of them are. A lot of these guys get a little soft at times. So, I don't want to hold it fully against them. But in terms of being productive for a good amount of time now since he came into the league, right off Jump Street. Is he a top 10 guy? I think he is.
Talent-wise, yes.
I don't know what you guys think. I mean, the numbers sort of back it up for the most part. But is he consistent all the time? I mean, I think you can knock him for maybe some consistency throughout the year. But when it's all said and done, the numbers get there, the production's there, and he's a hated Cowboy. But I think if he was playing somewhere else, he probably would have went a lot earlier.
I got 2 Cowboys, brother. I ain't worried about that.
Amari's good. Amari's very good.
The only reason, because again, it was down to those 2 for me. It was either Cooper or obviously Allen. And the reason why I don't like Cooper, I completely agree with you, Tom. Talent-wise, Cooper's better than Allen. He is top 10. My one concern, we've talked about this ever since that, this past season. I really don't like, especially in a contract year, right, where we always talk about, he's playing for the money. The fact that he took himself out of games, especially against the division rival in the Eagles, against the Bears, and a couple weeks before that in a must-win game, he took himself out. You know what I'm saying? That I concerns me. I love the pick given age, because I was having a conversation with somebody earlier, and I was saying, I always forget how young Amari Cooper is. I feel like he's been in the league for like 15 years, and he's still very young. you saw him work with a guy where I don't think anyone here is high on Derek Carr, and you saw how good he can be when Derek Carr actually has a pulse, a few seasons ago, even though it feels like a lifetime ago when that was the case. I absolutely agree. Talent-wise, it's a great pick. My only concern of why I didn't take him, it's just I worry about, okay, and this doesn't necessarily apply to this exercise, but now that you see that he does have a contract, he's taking himself out of games when he's trying to get paid. When he's locked up for all those years, that's my one concern. Yeah, that's my one concern.
His belly's full now.
It's always a question. It's always a question mark when you talk about any wide receiver when you pay them, because a lot of them have Debo. I mean, not Debo. I got Debo in my head. A lot of them. What's Julio saying? Yeah, well, maybe that don't matter because Mike Evans is still in the game. Mm-hmm. But listen, I mean, that's a one-time thing, right? That's a one-time thing, and we don't know. We know from watching the game, it looked like he took himself out. We don't know why. We don't know the exact reason. We didn't hear anything really about it. So I'm not trying to defend it. I just don't know. We don't know enough about the reason. So here in Philly, we crucify him for it, but that's not been his MO. He doesn't have an MO hey, my turn out. That's not been a history of him. Consistency, then I'll agree with it. Game in, game out consistency, absolutely. But in terms of, pulling us out of games, that was a one-time thing, and we don't know the reason. I will tell you one thing. I mean, you want to talk about quarterbacks played with, right? I mean, Derek Carr, right? Dak Prescott, we obviously like more than Derek Carr, but
he's made Prescott way better. We can all agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, that offense was rocking and rolling last year's number one offense in football. So, I got, granted, great running game. I like Dak a little bit, but then, you add that to their offense. That was like sort of their difference maker on what they needed. So, I don't know. But he's a little soft. I said it earlier on the show. I ain't going to run from it. There's a little bit. He might have one ball, but I'll take him.
Yeah. All right. TAs kick us off for the fourth round.
Fourth and final round.
I got a double dip. Now, I'm sure, what I'm sure some people are going to do is they're going to go tight end here. I'm big on the outside. All right. So with Mike Evans and Galladay, I don't feel like I really need to address a tight end. I can line one up in the slot. I can do different things like that and make it work size-wise, right? So I'm comfortable there. So the guy I was going to take in the third before I went 4, and Amari was sitting there, and I can't pass it, but I was going to go Calvin Ridley, Atlanta Falcons. I was going to add to that speed that I'm trying to add to Mike Evans and Kenny Galladay. So I feel like Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper complement them too well. I get another explosive guy. Good route runner too, like Calvin. But guess what? When you play alongside Julio, it limits touches a little bit too. So not sure what he would be by himself. Love him coming out of Bama. I still do. Again, like he'll have big games and then you won't see him for a week or two. Another monster. Won't see him for a week or two. So consistency, obviously an issue still. But since we're building this for the future, another 25-year-old guy that, I would like to build a team with all my receivers being 26 or under, that's sort of the direction I'm going. Nobody over 26 in this draft in terms of wide receivers. Ertz here is easy. Kelsey's easy here. Like I said, if I wasn't big already with the 2 first wide receivers pick, I would have went in that direction. So I'm looking to try to spice it up and add some more speed. So Calvin Ridley it is. Bama, Bama, baby. Pete, you see me. Bama, Bama on a back-to-backer.
Do you guys want to do a quick recap of round 3? Just to catch everybody up?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
All right. So with do you guys want to go through the entire thing or just third round?
Just third round.
Okay.
Just third round.
With the 13th overall pick to kick off the third round, Pete went with Jerry Jeudy. With the 14th overall pick, Chrome went with CeeDee Lamb. With the 15th overall pick, Kevin went with George Kittle, the first tight end taken in this draft. With 16th, but with number 1 in Chuck's heart, Chuck's went with Deebo Samuel. Number 17th overall, I went with Keenan Allen. And rounding off the third round, Tom went with Amari Cooper. And starting the fourth round, Tom went with Calvin Ridley.
Dope.
Good picks by everybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody's trying to fill in.
Thank
you.
Everybody.
I know what Chuck's is thinking. I mean, he's trying to complement what he has. You know what I mean? So I get the thought process. We're trying to build a team here. So we're trying to do some compliments. Like all things being equal, I'm taking freaking Travis Kelce or Zach Ertz. Production, blah 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 blah. But when we're trying to build a team out here and trying to build it out the right way, we want to like sort of complement some of our wide receivers with other wide receivers. The only reason I had to go speed with my last two, had to go with some guys who can flat out run it. Just like, hey, Chuck's looking for something different, looking for a guy who will go over the middle a lot. Odell, Tyreek, not guys that are going to go over the middle a ton. They don't want the contact per se. Debo loves the contact. So, I listen. I wouldn't have taken him because I think there's other guys that maybe could fit. But listen, when you love a guy, you take him. It's not a bad pick. He's a good player. I like Debo. And listen, we only have 1 year to go off of this too. It's not like we have a track record like that. We can say like, if he has like better production than he did this year, then you see the growth of him. But for a rookie that come in right away and have production at the wide receiver position, not easy to do. So I'll give that benefit of the doubt. Like, hey man, this guy's only going to get better if he can be productive day one.
Exactly my point, Tom. That's why I love it.
Explain it to the people. I mean, we're still going to crush it for the pick and have fun with it, but explain to the people. That's what we're trying to do. That's what
I always try to do, but people don't want to listen. So,
because on paper, me and Ryan look like we had a great round right there. You know what I mean? Like with Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, getting them kind of talents in the third round.
Tom, at the end of the day, you and I pick guys that have actually they've done something. It's not about, we hope, but some guys don't want to listen to it. So.
We got lucky.
Listen, we can take shots, Judge. We can do that. I have the same microphone.
No, Roman Pete, what you got to say to that? If he's going to say we're not.
He's not.
No, I was talking to you. I was talking to you.
I know he wasn't talking to me.
He was talking to me.
I know they ain't talking to us because me and Pete were under the impression that was the last round. Keenan Allen wasn't making it back.
Yeah.
So we get a pass if you want to look at it. And honestly, I still like CeeDee Lamb because I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be better than Amari.
Even if you thought you were going to have a fourth rounder, how do you get a pass if you still you passed up on the better talent for a younger guy? And then you're going to say that Ryan was beating you?
CeeDee Lamb
just said.
I think CeeDee Lamb
is better than Deebo Samuel. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to be better than Amari Cooper. I have Julio. I have Adam Thielen. To build my roster under the impression I only get 3
Build the roster. That's what we're talking about.
First round pick, who was the consensus number 1 pick in the majority of boards. Not a guy who's a fucking second.
He wasn't consensus.
Telling you here, bro.
He wasn't consensus. He wasn't consensus.
I would not taking CeeDee Lamb.
He was not
I would not taking CeeDee Lamb.
Just because you get closer to the camera doesn't make it mean more, Chuck.
I know. It doesn't mean anything. You look stupid as fuck doing that. So
I look stupid all the time. What the hell is the difference?
No, you don't look stupid doing that. Don't let that bully you down there.
All right, make your pick, Rob, before this falls off the rail.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You guys don't know what to do to yourselves with me defending Chuck. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to operate.
Like my guy OBJ on my team, I'm an emotional guy, and I'm going to let it out. As you guys have seen from my videos, my reaction, I'm letting it out. I don't care how stupid I look.
Knowing that you can make a certain pick and pick your young talent with another round left, and us thinking we're done. We didn't decide to do another round until after me and Pete thought we were done. Big difference. I may not have taken CeeDee Lamb at that point. I may have seen if he would have swung around. You look like a dumb fuck, dude. You're acting like an asshole because you made a stupid fucking pick and got called out on it. That's the fucking point.
Oh, okay.
That was a shock.
So it is. Next pick.
Oh man.
Next pick.
Here, guys, real quick. Hold on. Let's just play this. It'll make everyone feel better. There we go.
I do love that.
Like everyone feel better.
Whose pick are we at, by the way?
I don't know.
Right?
I think you're next. I think you're.
You're making. Oh, great! Here we go again.
Oh, Tom made it.
I'm done, right?
It's
you're done.
Yeah, you're done.
So is it me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make this okay. DJ Chark. I'm going to go DJ Chark, 23 years old. He has speed. Again, talk about a guy who was not in any position to succeed with Gardner / Nick Foles / Blake Bortles. As your fourth wide receiver, again, you're going young. I think he's going to really be one of – I'm not – all right, I'm going to be very clear. I think he has the potential to eventually become – now, he isn't today. He could eventually become a borderline top 10 wide receiver in this league, especially whenever they figure out what kind of offensive system they want to run, who the quarterback is. He's been in hero position.
You know why he can be right, to your point? Because he finds the end zone a lot.
Yep.
So
and he's always open.
Listen, that's always a difference maker for me, man. You got to go have 100 catches all you want. At the end of the day, you got to score to win. So I don't think anything away from 100 catch guys at all. But that's why, like we're talking about Keenan Allen. That's why I actually love this pick, because at a young age he's finding it right away, right away. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna say he's gonna be better than Keenan Allen because that's unfair.
Right.
But, because they're different players. One's more of a route runner, and DJ to me just, he's a good catch radius guy too. But I love the pick. You know how I felt about trading for him here in Philly. So I mean, I like the pick, and I think he's got a big time upside.
Big Tom in the background. I saw him do the cameo.
Big Tom did like the slow casual walk by and
the Ben Simmons here into the game.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand it's live. Like, doesn't understand.
What is this live thing?
He hasn't figured that out yet.
That's true, Philip. Nick Foles left the field with the bleed.
He's creeping behind. He's going to creep behind again.
All right, so
love it.
Love
it. That was such perfect timing to put the big screen.
You can't hear him because I got headphones on. They all said hello. He's upset. Everybody said hello.
What's up, Big Tom?
What's up, Big T? He got to put his glasses on.
Yeah.
Love the T-shirt, by the way.
I was looking at it like, is this a spaceship? What is this? Is this a spaceship? Why is Kevin on Mars?
Is this the first trip to Mars? Is this the first trip they were talking about?
I didn't know you guys had Martians on the shows.
Commies.
Who's next?
So who's next? I don't even know.
I'm up.
We already know. It should be 4 letters. If I know Chuck's like I think I know Chuck's.
I was debating him, but I can't. There's someone left on the board, just like with what Ryan did. He's too good to pass up. So I'm going to pass up on the tight end, and I'm going to just continue to add speed, and I'm going to go Tyler Lockett because that just way too much speed on my team.
Okay.
There goes my pick.
Yes!
Oh, wow.
You're over, Kevin. There you go.
That would have been my pick, too.
Really?
What? Who?
Tyler Lockett.
Who?
That's
Chuck's
Tyler Lockett.
I mean, Kevin would have picked Tyler Lockett if I did.
Kevin on Chrome would have took Tyler Lockett.
Wow. We're really got the fish rod out. Woo. I mean, I was good with Debo. Now I can't hang in with you. I was there. I was trying to I understood it. There's so much talent out there, and you go Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, because Tyler Lockett's
on my team with Russell Wilson. Yeah,
Tyler Lockett's legit.
On my team with Russell Wilson, he is. Make a trade. We'll talk.
Make a trade? Yeah, let's make a trade. Let's make a trade. I'll give you your son Baker.
I don't know how you don't take his teammate. I don't know how you don't take his teammate. Younger. I don't know how you don't take his teammate.
Who, DK?
Seattle. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't go there.
Because Lockett can do more.
Okay.
Depends how you look at more.
Kev, where you going, Kev?
I like that.
So before I make my pick, here, does anyone want to go round 5 after half the panel is already gone?
So you can continue to miss.
Just check
I would go 5. So you continue to miss.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not gonna miss on this pick here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a pup. Little experience last year. He had a taste of it. I'm going to go A.J. Brown. Get him in there right behind Thomas and
Look at
Diggs.
you. Freaking growing up. Look at you growing up right in front of our eyes.
There you go,
Totally
Kev. Led the
Totally
league in yards after the catch. I mean, I
Can't
hate to go
see
back.
it.
Chuck said he took Deebo Samuel because he wanted guys to get yak. How do you not get the guy that led the league in yak yards last year, AJ Brown, in a shitty offense who had less catches and over 1,000 yards, and to Deebo Samuel's 3 touchdowns had 8.
Hey,
Had
you know
8.
what I remember what I said about stats before? Well, put it here.
Thank you, Daly.
Because Debo can do more than AJ Brown, and complements my wide receiver core better. So, hey,
I don't know.
I'm consistent.
More.
I've always liked Debo more than AJ Brown since the draft. So I'm just being consistent here.
Okay.
No, that's fair. My question to you is, how does he do more though? Because the only thing I don't know how Debo does more because he becomes a Swiss Army knife at times. But that's the only thing. The only thing more, he might get a jet sweep. You know what I mean? But that's the only, to me, that's the only thing more. Because Brown, in terms of physicality, like you're saying, Chuck, and what you need, he's right there in terms of physicality. I just want to know what you're more.
But I think Debo is a better route runner. Can get open.
Right, put the scroll.
Gotcha. I don't know. What are they saying? I just said I got you. I just wanted to hear why you thought that. That's all.
Oh yeah, better route runner, and I know you do too, but we both love our route runners.
No, absolutely.
Which round, Crow?
So, I wanted to see all of them. I want to make sure. I had to pop off for a minute. I want to make sure that somebody wasn't taken.
Nah, you're fine. We won't hold that against you.
Yeah,
you were on the whole time.
But you popped off after the Allen pick, right?
There's a couple at times. Well, my service sucked for a few minutes, and then I had to pop off for an emergency call. So I don't know where I'm at.
I'll do a quick run through quick, just so everyone's because there's some new people chiming in. I'll do this real quick. So with the number 1 overall pick, Pete went with DeAndre Hopkins. Chrome went Julio Jones. Kevin went Michael Thomas. Chucks went Tyreek Hill. I went with Devontae Adams, and Tom went with Mike Evans in the second round. Tom went with Kenny Galladay with the 7th pick. I went with Chris Godwin. Chucks went with Odell Beckham. Kevin went with Stephon Diggs / Rob Gronkowski. Then Chrome followed up with Adam Thielen / Rob Gronkowski. With the 12th overall pick, Pete went with Juju Smith-Schuster to round off the second round. And to start the third round, Jerry Jeudy was picked by Pete. Chrome went with CeeDee Lamb. Kevin went with the first and only tight end taken so far, and that it was George Kittle. Chucks went with Deebo Samuel. I went with Keenan Allen. Tom went with Amari Cooper. And then so far in the 4th round, Tom went with Calvin Ridley. I went with DJ Chark. And Chucks went with Tyler Lockett. Kevin went with A.J. Brown.
All right, so I
know exactly where you're going. And it's a
I
good pick.
don't know if you do. I like guys who can catch the football. I like guys who got hands. It's just why I want to have
Nelson
Adam Thielen, why I want to have a Julio Jones. I want to add to that. I want a guy that was in the top 10 in all the major wide receiving categories last year, who started to emerge last year. I'm going with DJ Moore here. Yep. Add him to my wide receiving core. It's a guy who, again, is a young guy starting to emerge and find his own footing as the number 1 wide receiver. He was in the top 10 in almost every major wide receiving category last year. He never drops the football. I think he had 3 drops over the last 2 years or something along those lines. And you guys know how much I hate a guy who drops the freaking football. I've seen it too much. I'm making sure that when I put my team together, that I am going to have hands guys who can catch the football and create plays. And that's, to me, DJ Moore, the perfect complement to all these guys. And I like the age range, guys. I like where Julio being my elder statesman down to CD, and then, with Thielen and Moore in between, I feel like it's a nice kind of slow progression down the line with these guys. So I'm good to go.
I like it. Love DJ Moore. Good stuff. Philly.
All right. So we talked about it. This is supposed to be wide receiver, tight ends. We went 4 rounds. We're only supposed to go 3. And I got some speed. I got some youth. I got a little bit in between. And to see nobody took. There's only one tight end so far through 20 some odd picks. And that's all it's going to be. I'm not going tight end. Love you, Ertz. Love you, Kelsey.
You don't love
doing that.
Stop with the love Ertz. You don't. Love
I
Ertz.
do like Ertz. I don't think he's elite, but I mean, he's okay.
Stop.
He's okay.
You don't love Ertz. Stop.
He's okay.
Stop it.
So
you say you don't think he's elite?
You think Ertz is? You think Ertz has elite traits?
Yes.
Elite.
Yes.
Okay.
You're the lone wolf here, Pete. We know you don't like Ertz.
No. So Chuck, stop. It's not that I don't like Ertz.
You don't.
Real quick, I want to put this out there in the fan base. I think he's overrated for what he means to this team. He's a great route runner. To me, he's this era's Jason Witten. Can get open at any time. That's valuable to a point. But with the offense you're trying to build at as much speed as you just drafted, you may see Ertz's value be diminished. No, I thought about it, Philip. I thought about it. I really thought about it because I feel like Aaron Rodgers does have he does have a lot when he throws to a white boy wide receiver. I get that. But nah. I'm going more speed, but I want to go speed with size. We seen this kid last year, his rookie season, come out. You seen how he was yoked up in his picture. So I don't need a damn tight end. Give me a motherfucking wide receiver that can play the tight end position in the slot. You got D-Hop, you got Juju, you got Jerry in the slot. On the outside, give me DK Metcalf and call it a night. I'm good.
I like it. It's a good pick.
I'm good.
I like it.
I like Seattle's wide receiver. Somebody took the wrong one, so I'll take the scraps. I'll take the scraps.
You're right.
You mean the wrong one? I mean, because my guy can run the whole route tree, and your guy can only run 4 routes, 3 maybe.
I mean, good enough to burn the Eagles last season. So
if you're a tight end, what does Rob Gronkowski run well? The seam, right? So if you give me a bitch at 6'4" that can run the seam. Okay.
Nah. Were you a legit question? Were you at all considered? Because I was thinking you would also consider Cortland Sutton. Was he at all on your radar? Because he's someone I was also eyeing the last 2 rounds, like 3rd round and this round. I really like Cortland Sutton a lot. He's got a ton of potential. He made some crazy catches. So I just, if we're gonna just toss out some guys that were left off the board from all of our picks for a draft, just tossing him out. I don't know if you guys have any other names that you want to throw out that you feel need to be mentioned too.
I do. I have a few. T.Y. Hilton, just to get the party started real quick. I mean, I'm absolutely surprised. A surprise there. Terry McLaurin, not we don't know enough about him. Young kid. I know people like him.
Allen Robinson's another name out there. That
Allen Robinson. Yep.
Landry.
Juice.
Landry.
Christian Kirk, since we're drafting younger, I know a lot of people like him. Marquise Brown.
Cooper Kupp is probably one of the biggest ones.
Cooper Kupp, yeah.
Cooper Kupp, or Robert Woods, depending on I think either one of those two could have at least gotten consideration for sure.
Yeah. But I'll definitely say Robert Woods, Cortland Sutton, them guys. And then somebody said Allen Robinson. On my list, he's the 7th here. So I mean, not getting drafted goes to tell you when you do have a bad quarterback, it can really hurt you. So I mean, a guy who caught everything in Jacksonville. So I mean, what happened? He forget how to play? I don't think so. So that's just the disadvantage of not putting up numbers for the last 2 years. Why he?
I mean, I consider Cortland Sutton as a possibility instead of DJ Moore. It's just in terms of how I'm constructing my roster and the fit that I feel like DJ Moore has with my wide receiving core. I just felt like it was a little bit of a better fit, but I'm a big Cortland Sutton fan myself. I think that would have been
absolutely
spot on if anybody would have taken him.
Yeah.
Everybody burned Darby, Yusuf. Everybody burned Darby.
Another guy I would throw, and this is a fringe. I mean, I think McLaurin's better, but a Darius Slayton possibly. Just because you look at a quarterback play, it wasn't phenomenal, but you looked at what he had with Sterling Shepard, obviously Golden Tate, and Slayton was kind of the most reliable guy for Daniel Jones. And he's young too. He's only, he's entering his second
It
season.
came out of nowhere. Wasn't he like a 5th round pick or something like that?
Yeah, go figure.
Something like that.
8th round
Yeah,
pick.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kev,
What do you got?
Kev, real quick before I leave, Kev, N'Keal Harry, you weren't interested?
No.
First,
off,
you talk about him, Jesus Christ.
I don't talk about him that much.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
Now we're
last year
speaking
to start off the year with an injury, no, thank you. I need guys that need, if I'm going to win games, I need them to play in the games. So they're going to have to be on the field.
He said he doesn't
He's not my guy.
kill Harry a lot.
You talk about him every week.
I like Meyer over Harry. So I don't know where you got that from. I like
who?
Jacoby Meyer. Jacoby
Meyer.
Meyer over.
No, nobody's talking about Meyer. Everyone's talking about friggin' N'Keal Harry. You talk about him every week.
Yeah.
He's talking about Meyer. Who the hell Meyer?
I don't know where you watch me talk about him.
Kevin,
I produced your show. What are you talking about? I'm literally a foot from you.
in our 12-team fantasy league last year, you drafted N'Keal Harry and kept him on your team all season. So stop.
Hey, I can hope. Doesn't mean I want him to start.
So you've given up then. That means you're disloyal. You've given up.
What do you guys think about John Brown, the other receiver in Denver, up in Buffalo now?
Nah, and he's got that
I
medical
like John
thing, too.
Brown.
He's got that medical.
Yeah, I
thing,
mean, I
too.
don't know.
Yeah.
As a wide receiver, in general of his talent, I do like John Brown a lot. I don't know that I would put him in this conversation. He's probably a tier or two under.
Yeah.
But I like John Brown.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you were drafting him. I thought there were still like rounds going on, and I thought you drafted him. I almost lost it.
All right,
all these guys that we just said, what happened?
A lot of
let's
people.
recap.
But I like John Brown too. I do. Explosive as shit.
Yeah.
I mean, if we put him, if we're gonna say the other guys that weren't named out there, especially the younger guys, you've got Boyd. I put John Brown right in that category of people that we could be saying next season he could be a second round pick there if we redo this. He's got that type of upside. Just as of right now, his floor is a little lower.
Let's see here.
Right, let's go run
Crow,
through the rounds that we had.
Okay.
Recap.
Yeah.
And take it home.
Alrighty. So to start off here, we had Pete take DeAndre Hopkins. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through each person's picks.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That works.
that's fine. Just do it that way.
Yeah.
Pete's team is DeAndre Hopkins.
Hold on. Do we have Pete's entire team so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's go that. Let's go entire roster so far for the people.
Yeah. That's
Oh.
what
Agreed.
Yeah, let's have the fans sort of get a gauge on where we're going here.
So Kevin, give me your three quarterbacks, and then I'll give the wide receivers.
Well, they're right back up here if you want to take a look. I have Deshaun.
See that?
you can't see
I
it.
have it's Deshaun Watson, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Josh Allen.
Wait, how the hell did you?
And your wide receivers?
I have Michael Thomas, Stephon Diggs, George Kittle, and AJ Brown.
Pete,
How about that? Quick, I got to recognize this comment from Youssef here. A Skins fan, A2D is a joy to watch. Love
Thank
that.
you, Youssef.
Oh, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate that, Youssef. Continue to
Yeah,
do
right.
this,
I'm
brother.
gonna roll, Ryan. I'm gonna
Okay.
roll. So I'll just want to spit mine out real quick.
Julio, good luck on your finals.
Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, I believe, and then wide receivers were Mike Evans, Kenny Golladay, Amari Cooper, and my last one, Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
correct.
So, boys, it's been
Nice,
real.
Dad.
Later.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
This is
It's
fun.
fun. I'm winning it all. I'm winning it all. That's what these fancy
Yeah,
players
okay.
do after they draft. Best team here. Best team here. I'm going to go tell 1,000 people. I got the best team here. See you, boys.
Hey, guy.
I love it, Dad.
Take
Enjoy,
care.
enjoy yourself.
All right, Pete, give us your three quarterbacks, and then we'll run through the wide receivers.
So my first pick was Aaron Rodgers. Then I went Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, Then we have DeAndre Hopkins, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jerry Jeudy, and then to round it off, DK Metcalf.
I'll get mine out of the way. So my 3 quarterbacks in this order, it was Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, and Tua Tagovailoa. And then the wide receivers tonight, I took Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin, I took Keenan Allen, and DJ Chark. Chucks?
Nice.
Oh, okay. So I got Carson Wentz, Drew Brees, and Baker Mayfield as my quarterbacks. My wide receivers are Tyreek Hill, Odell Beckham Jr., Deebo Samuel, and Tyler Lockett.
And Mr. Chrome.
And I have. I don't remember who the fuck I have as quarterback.
Mahomes.
That's right.
Matt Ryan and Dak Prescott.
Pat Mahomes, Matt Ryan, and Dak Prescott as my quarterbacks. And at my wide receiver, I have Julio Jones. I have DJ Moore. I'm not naming you in order. DJ Moore, CeeDee Lamb, and who was my other one, Ryan?
You had
Thielen.
Adam Thielen.
Yes.
I'm terrible at this, obviously. I need to see things. It's getting late. I'm getting very tired. So we're gonna drop these rosters for tomorrow. Guys, reminder, we're not picking because Carson Wentz is our favorite player. We're picking who we think is the best roster construction. Every week we'll update with new positions added to our rosters. We're gonna post it next day. We want you guys to vote on which roster that you start to, see formulate and which one you think is the best. I got you, Daly. Don't worry, I got your plug coming up in a second. But make sure you guys are looking at it. We want to know from you, fam, who's gonna construct and draft the best team. Guys, anything else for the cause before we hop off?
Nah, man, just want to take the hats off to the fan for rocking with us. We appreciate it. Everybody stay safe and be well out there.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Couple programming announcements, guys. Some big stuff, actually, including a breaking announcement for A2D today. But just to get, listen, A2D is becoming like interview 2D in a lot of ways. So tomorrow we have our combined show, Ryan?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Okay. So tomorrow we have the Fix in the PM. Ryan and his crew from the Fix, AM and the PM crew, they're going to join together. I'm imagining probably around 7, 8 o'clock, whatever you guys usually do over there. I know sometimes it varies, but they usually find a middle time from when their shows would start. Check those guys out tomorrow. And listen, we got a string of interviews coming up. We got Thursday night, Lazy Booking is switching with Hockey Happy Hour. We're going to have MMA, UFC, former champion Ken Shamrock, former WWE Intercontinental Champion. That's going to be a great interview. We're going to talk about his career. We're going to talk about his upcoming book, which I'm in the process of reading right now, and it is insane. The first chapter alone is ridiculously insane. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not a big reader, and I'm hooked. But we're going to have Ken Shamrock on Friday afternoon. Former Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Pat Combs will be joining a couple of the guys for a special 2 p.m. interview, so check that one out. That's right, Joey, check it out. We're going to have him on. And for the weekly roundup, Brian Boom Kelleher, UFC fighter, former champion, he as well is going to be on with the weekly roundup. And just breaking announcement tonight for the Hockey Happy Hour boys, June 4th at 7:30 p.m. Former Philadelphia Flyers, St. Louis Blue, Mr. Chris Pronger has agreed to join A2D and Hockey Happy Hour for an interview. So on that night, we'll be switching Lazy Booking and Hockey Happy Hour to accommodate the Hockey Guys interview. So again, guys, lots of really exciting stuff. Ryan and these boys know we all have a couple of interviews that are really lining up, very possibly some big interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned to A2D, follow us on social media, check out our shows, like everything, subscribe, share the shows, and make sure that you guys are checking it out because that's where we drop the announcements for the interviews and different stuff like that. And lastly, we got to thank our sponsors, guys. We got a lot of them who help keep us riding, especially through this pandemic. They've been so great and supportive. Our doctor, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy.com. Ambuck Services, again, let them know that the fam sent you. AMBUCK, Ambuck Services.com. QB54, best tailgating game in the business. Hit playqb54.com. And our boys over at Philly Drinkers, phillydrinkers.com. All the A2D merch is there. Again, they dropped swim shorts / multi-purpose shorts today. I'm excited to get my pair. They have the quarterback factory shirt, which is a hot item right now, guys. It's cool looking. I'm telling you. I think the link is in this video, right, Ryan?
Say that again, Crew. I'm sorry.
The link should be at the caption of this video, correct?
On Facebook, yes,
Yeah.
for all our Facebook viewers.
Correct.
Anyone who's watching over on YouTube, head over to our Facebook or just go to phillydrinkers.com/A2D radio.
There you go. Check it out, guys. Dude, there's awesome merch. They have a Birds of a Feather shirt, a Fix shirt. They have all of your favorite programs. You can get your favorite show shirts and lots of awesome A2D merch. Like I said, Quarterback Factory, the limited edition shirt that was released is still available on there in multiple colors. Check it out. We love them. phillydrinkers.com. That's all I got, boys. I'll be seeing the fam on Thursday. Ryan will see him tomorrow. You boys will see them next week. We love you guys.
Yes,
we appreciate you. Appreciate your input. And for all of us, stay safe. And let's we're on the cusp, guys. Let's continue to do what we need to do to get the hell through this and enjoy our summer. And for us,
Yes,
have a good night.